Lowe, the popular host of CBC News here in Edmonton. Helen Mann will join me just a moment for a local angle on all of this. 200 nations, and they say now it may be as many as 209 by week's end. And to give you some context, back in 1978 when they had the Commonwealth Games, 48 countries were here, and when they held the Winter Olympics, which is a bigger financial boon, but when they had those Winter Games in Calgary in 1988, just 50 nations were represented, so 200 plus is really something. And the last time we had a gathering like this was Sydney, Australia, of course, which is 13,300 kilometers yonder, and I'm sure you remember the Aussies were rather cool, if not cynical, about the whole idea of a gathering such as this, but by the time the Games were held in the Paralympics, that whole town of Sydney was absolutely transformed. And what about Edmonton? It's been 33 months now since that magical day when 22 of 24 first place votes went to Edmonton to award them these games and kickstart tonight. Helen Mann has a look at how the dream began and how it's playing out.
The spectacle of sport in Stuttgart at the 1993 World Championships in Athletics piqued the attention of an Alberta businessman, Jack Agrios. Such grand performances before dedicated fans. Why not Canada, he asked.
I was in my office, and one night I got a phone call from my eldest daughter, who was a real track and field athletics advocate, and she said, "Dad, you've got to come home. You've got to see what's happening in Stuttgart." And I went home and saw the wonderful championships for the next 8 days from Stuttgart, and the dream and the fact that it was doable for Canada and for Edmonton started then and there.
Since their inception in 1983, the World Championships have played to large audiences in European cities before going to Tokyo in 1991, again to a warm reception. Nearly 3 years ago in Monaco, the IAAF awarded the rights to North America for the first time.
2001 World Championships in Edmonton.
Well, once we were awarded it, we sort of the first words out of all our mouths, we have it. What do we do now?
Edmonton, of course, is no stranger to hosting big events. The city rose to the occasion for both the 1978 Commonwealth Games and the 1983 Universiade. The City of Champions gained renown for its golden era of the Oilers, as well as perennial CFL powerhouse, the Eskimos. The Eskimos' home, Commonwealth Stadium, underwent extensive renovations to host the World Championships.
Over the last year, I think the biggest thing that's taken place has been the extension to the east and west concourse. What you see in the stadium now, a lot of it really is temporary. I think the other big piece around here is how the stadium property's been used. I mean, we've used the new Clark Stadium, which has just been built. We've taken over the complete site from tip to tip.
Gentile with the cross.
The World Championships rank behind only soccer's World Cup and the Summer Olympics in terms of broadcast impact, with a potential audience of 4 billion.
We're operating here at this venue as though this were the Olympics. In fact, we've got more cameras here than they had in Sydney. And when you compare this to the Commonwealth Games here in 1978, there is no comparison. We've got 85 cameras out there moving around 115 positions, and it's just an extraordinary setup. Then surrounding all that, you've got 72, almost 78. I think the count keeps changing. A number of broadcast organizations, radio and television that we have here from more than 50 countries around the world.
It has a far-reaching audience back home, men and women, very popular. And we've got here about 90 personnel working in television and radio and news, and we'll be doing round-the-clock coverage for those back home, and they're 7 hours ahead.
Since the days of Stuttgart, Canadians, led by Donovan Bailey, have moved to the peak of track and field. Now comes the opportunity to perform on home ground before an appreciative Canadian audience.
Well, Helen Mann joins me now live. And Helen, we're looking forward, of course, to the opening ceremony this evening and the marathon. I saw one item in the Globe and Mail today by an Edmonton writer who said that this event has suffered from an embarrassingly low national profile. Did you get that sense? You were down in Toronto for 3 weeks?
I think so. I didn't see any kind of advertising when I was in Toronto. Friends in Calgary have said they haven't seen very much either. Even within Edmonton, there's been a feeling that people haven't realized what a big deal this is, that it's bigger than the Commonwealth Games and the Universiade, which people, of course, celebrate and are very proud of from the past. Feeling now, of course, that is starting to change. Sellout crowd tonight, last minute, mind you, but a sellout crowd, and the event's starting to sell a little more, especially the big ones.
Which is really Edmonton. It always seems to get behind things, not always in advance, but it's so typical of Edmonton to come through. We saw it with the Edmonton Oilers. Why do you think maybe the hype the last few days was accentuated?
Well, I think there was some panic from the city, and they started a last-minute advertising campaign featuring the mayor and Premier Klein. But in addition to that, the hoopla. You know, the athletes started to arrive. You saw these massive crowds at the airport to greet them. And there's also a festival around town, a festival of the worlds, and it is also going to attract a lot of attention. Arts, culture, a lot of music events, big stars around the town, and I think down at City Hall and at Kingsland Park, that's got people excited as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt they have 20 major festivals a year. I just see Sergei Bubka walked into the room, Les Germanic, the head coach of Team Canada. So we have some very distinguished guests coming up. Mark McCoy hopefully will also join us. And we'll split our focus tonight. Be interesting to see how this goes with the beautiful opening ceremony and also the marathon for the first time ever being contested. When we come back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, we're going to take a look ahead to the track and field competition, which really begins in earnest tomorrow. We'll have Brad Snyder, the first Canadian in competition in the shot put. We'll also have the sprinters on track. So Don Whitman and Jeff Gowan will join Michael Smith to address what we can look forward to in the next 48 hours as the competition gets underway in Edmonton.
The people of Royal Bank Financial Group are pleased to bring you the World Championships in Athletics, being held in North America for the first time. The dream of all athletes is to represent their country in competition and to bring home a medal. Royal Bank has been helping young Canadian athletes pursue that dream for more than 50 years. We're proud of that support, and we're proud of the dedication of our Canadian athletes. I hope you enjoy watching them fulfill their dreams at the Worlds.
When I tell people I'm an expert at darts, they think it's the kind that you throw. Actually, it's the part that helps the pens fit better. Every day I dart, and I dart, and I dart. So if practice makes perfect, that's me, at least. So one kind of darts.
Every pair of Moore's pants goes through 80 people, one of whom is Julio Olmedo. Well-made, well-priced, well-dressed. Moore's.
My treat, Mike.
Can I borrow your stapler?
Huh? Sure.
Thanks. Hi.
Hey. Oh, I'm looking forward to this lunch thing. Boy, am I hungry.
With our big extra at just $1.49 every day, isn't it nice to know your money goes further at McDonald's?
Hey, the accounting guys are here.
Who knows where it'll go?
The good times are doing double time at the Double Deuce. Let your hair down, show your stuff, see and be seen. For great music and lots of action, head for the Double Deuce in the center at Circle and A.
Team.
Royal Bank Financial Group Athletic Series World Championships on CBC. Brought to you by Royal Bank Financial Group. Make the most of your dreams.
Glenroy Gilbert will be the flag bearer for Team Canada, the parade of athletes. It's hard to know how many will actually march this evening with the marathon underway tonight, and also, of course, the sprints getting underway. The first 2 rounds of competition tomorrow. Many of the athletes will choose not to march, especially in view of the heat tonight. Jeff Gowan and Don Whitman standing by. We'll begin with track competition and a look ahead. Canada's best results in the World Track and Fields. Just 1 medal in field events was a silver for Mark Boswell in Seville last time around, but pretty impressive efforts thanks to Donovan Bailey and Bruni Surin. Will it be their swan song on Saturday, or will they have the chance to move through to the semis and the final on Sunday? With a preview of the track competition and a focus on Team Canada, here's Don and Jeff.
In the men's 100 meters, Maurice Green of the United States ranks as a solid favorite. He's the world record holder and the reigning world and Olympic champion. Jeff, if there's to be a challenge, it could come from this man.
Otto Bolden under 10 seconds for the 100, under 20 seconds for the 200. He could be a strong contender.
Bernard Williams, the Pan American Games champion, has also been running well this year, but Maurice Green is the favorite. Marion Jones is a solid favorite in the women's 100. She has not lost a 100-meter race since 1997.
Strong contender, Zana Pintasevich-Block, former world 200 champion, very strong, very fast.
Christy Gaines won the American Championship this year in the absence of Marion Jones, and she will also be a medal contender. In the hurdles, Alan Johnson, a 2-time Olympic champion, will probably be the favorite.
But watch for Anir Garcia of Cuba, the Olympic champion in Sydney. Big, strong, fast man, very good hurdler. He will challenge Johnson.
In the women's hurdles, a question mark hangs over Gail Devers. Will she be able to regain her form?
And if this woman, Olga Shishigina, can regain the form that won her the gold medal in Sydney, she will challenge.
In the men's 800, Andre Booker of Switzerland has been the dominant figure this year in the Golden League Series.
But a strong challenge will come from Ezekiel Sapeng of South Africa, one of the fastest 800-meter runners in the world, and Kip Ketter of Denmark, if he's fit.
In the women's competition, look for another duel between Olympic champion Maria Matola and Steffi Graf. Matola has been running well in recent races, but Steffi Graf has been dominant in the Golden League Series. But there could be a woman to upset them both.
And the upset might come from Fabienne dos Santos, the strong runner from Brazil.
In the women's 1500, Violeta Szekely of Romania has been unbeaten this year in the Golden League Series and is a definite medal threat.
In the men's 1500, Hikam El Garouj, the world record holder for the mile and 15, will be the one to beat.
Over 10,000 meters, has anyone been better than Haile Gebrselassie?
The man who smiles as he wins.
Just saying, Haile Gebrselassie is an okay to go for the men's 10,000 meters, and that'll be the first time, Sergei, that he's run that competition, so a big treat. We still have a big bone of contention with Gabriela Szabo and Olga Yegorova. We'll find out more about her positive test for EPO, whether or not the B result on Sunday means she's eligible to run here in Edmonton, and if so, Szabo says she'll boycott. More on that story as we move forward in the meet. Let's talk about Sergei Bubka, the tremendous Ukrainian, 6-time gold medalist, 6 consecutive world championships. Sergei, you're seeing this for the first time. Which meet? If you had to guess, where are you here?
This is Total Super Meet in Japan. I think it's 1992 when I set world record 6 meters 13. Yeah, it was 6 meters 13. Because I missed Atlanta Olympic Games, and after that I set 2 world records. This is history, 6:14 world records. It's last out of my record which I set.
How many did you set? Was it 28 or?
No, totally 35. Indo and outdoor, 18 and 17. Total 35 world records I set.
Well, congratulations on your tremendous career. Some good news. You were at the Congress 2 days ago, voted as a new member of the IAAF panel. What would you like to do in your new role as a member of their delegation?
No, first of all, I'm really happy that I was elected as council member, because athletics is my life. I started since 10 years old. And of course I dream to put back my knowledge, my experience to develop my sport. And of course now I'm really happy to do that. It's new president, it's Mr. Diak. He's very democratical. He's looking forward to do more changes. And I think we will be very helpful do this job together.
It's not your event, but I see where they've agreed that false starts from the year 2000 and 3 forward, if you false start once, you're out?
Yeah, 1 is okay, but second one, you go out.
Oh, okay.
So the first one, it's eligible for everybody, but second, it's become dangerous.
Of the actual event,
yes,
right? So
yes.
whether it's your person
this
or not.
Is like
and I think the athletes weren't so crazy about that, and I'm not going to go down this road with you, but as an athlete, do you feel that, that the IAAF is listening to athletes on these issues?
Yeah, it's now more and more that they distribute some questionnaire, athletes express some feelings, and also during the Congress I discussed about pole vault, because they also want to reduce attempts for pole vault and high jump, for long jump, triple jump, and also they try to reduce time for preparation for attempt. And I explain and I express my professional thoughts regarding pole vault. And when one pole vault is still competing, they need to give more time. They prefer to give the 3 minutes, and in the end we decided to give 5 because it needs time for recover. It's quite heavy event.
Yeah, it seemed, remember the one time you were going for the world record, was it
in
the shot put got in your way? Yeah.
They killed me. At that time I was ready. I was able to set new records, first time in my life in World Championships, but mistake of judges destroy everything. In these cases now we can express and we can participate in our decision.
One of the rules note they're going to be addressing whether an athlete touches the bar and keeps it on, but we'll go to that with pole vault. We don't have a lot of time. I'd like to ask you, you've done so much to be an ambassador. If you're speaking to an Edmonton audience, maybe express what a World Championships is really about to get people to come out and enjoy it.
No, as you know, I won 6 consecutive World Championships, and 4 times I won Indo World Championships, but I can tell for the Canadian crowd, for people who is looking, this is a great event, fantastic event. I would like to use my possibility to invite you to see this excellent atmosphere you can describe during the World Championships. And I'm looking forward to see you in the stadium.
Also, just before World War I, 170,000 folks came from Ukraine to help set up the great agriculture industry in Edmonton, based in the Vegreville community and around. So you have a lot of supporters. We had another 40,000 came to Canada after World War I. Another 30,000 Ukrainians came post-World War II. So how about a word in Ukrainian for your many fans here in Edmonton?
No, I am pleased to be also in May. I met Ukrainian community. I know that they put a lot to develop this fantastic country. And of course, I wish them all the best, and we are Ukrainians, and we will do also the great things for our future together.
Did you want to say it in Ukrainian? Anything in Ukrainian?
Добрий вечір. Дуже приємно розмовляти з вами у Канаді.
Sergey, enjoy the week. You'll be part of the Legends of Gold, of course, part of the ceremony tonight. Really a treat to have you here as a 6-time
Thank you very much, and I wish
representative.
successful championship.
Sergey Bubka, the 6-time pole vault champion of these World Championships of track and field. 40,000 spectators. It's jam-packed tonight. There's plenty of anticipation for the opening ceremony, which is still to come. Krista Monson, the Edmonton choreographer, has a beautiful show for you, plus the marathon as we continue.
Okay. Who wants the last burger?
Me.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like I was.
A whole lot can happen out of the blue. Labatt Blue.
Early light breaks through. Music and dance calling you. Need Folgers aromatic lift before you share your gift. Now there's rhythm and sound, making their hearts pound. And part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
When you see a sandwich like Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme with 2 slices of processed mozzarella and a wicked Parmesan sauce on a seasoned whole breast filet, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Lunch, anyone?
Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme.
This summer, make your entertainment dollar stretch with a passport to the world. Folkfest 2001 is coming, Western Canada's premier cultural festival. Folkfest passports are still only $12. 3 days of sights, sounds, and tastes. Explore Saskatchewan's rich cultural heritage. Visit any one of the pavilions as long as you like, complete with free transportation. Plan your Folkfest visit today. Passports are just $12 for 3 full days, August 16th, 17th, and 18th. Passports available at Saskatoon Safeway, Mac, 7-Eleven, and all pavilion doors.
Children have a lifetime to make their wishes come true, but for some they only have today. The Children's Wish Foundation is there to create smiles and lasting memories.
Your ticket in the Wish Home Lottery helps make wishes come true. The grand prize winner gets to choose one of 12 beautiful homes, plus receive a check for up to $205,000.
Follow the signs to the SHBA Parade of Homes in Arbor Creek, Briarwood, Dundonald, and Warman, or call 1-800-661-WISH or 384-WISH. Help create the magic.
If you're a good reporter, you're also a good listener. I'm in Yorkton to be a reporter and a listener. So we want to hear from you. We want to know what matters to you. The show is Canada Now, and we're in Yorkton now.
Opening night here at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton of the 8th IAAF World Championships of Track and Field. As I mentioned, the field events get underway in earnest tomorrow, and this will be the first time in a long time that I can remember where Canada may be focused more on the field competition than the track. Jason Tunks has a great opportunity in the discus. He's been throwing really well all summer, may in fact get to the podium. Of course, in the high jump, Mark Boswell is the defending silver medalist. Kwaku Boateng and he are a tremendous threat in the high jump competition. And Brad Snyder will be the first on the field tomorrow in the men's shot put, the 25-year-old native of Windsor, with their story and the story of those who will challenge them. Here once again, Don Whitman and Jeff Cowan.
The women's pole vault is one event that has the potential to produce a world record performance.
As Stacy Dragila of the United States has been doing all this season. Magnificent vaulting.
Titania Gregoreva of Australia will challenge Dragila for the gold medal. And Jeff, one of your favorite athletes will appear in the men's triple jump.
Yes, the world record holder, the Olympic record holder, the Olympic champion, and the world champion.
And if Jonathan Edwards is to be challenged, it will come from Dimitrov of Bulgaria, but Edwards is a solid gold medal favorite. In the men's high jump, Vyacheslav Voronin of Russia will be a gold medal contender. And Canadian fans will be cheering for Mark Boswell, the silver medalist in 1999 in Seville, Spain.
And the world record holder, Javier Sotomayor of Cuba, he will be there fighting it out for medals.
In the men's discus, the big man, Alekna, will be a gold medal contender and will be challenged by Lars Rydell of Germany, along with a Canadian, Jason Tunks.
Jason Tunks in there with a medal chance if he can throw well in the final.
In the men's long jump, Ivan Pedroso of Cuba will be looking for another world title.
The Olympic champion, fast on the runway, good in the air, outstanding jumping.
James Beckford of Jamaica could pose a challenge.
Models himself somewhat on Pedroso. Good simple jumping, quite effective.
Kevin Dilworth from the United States has jumped well earlier this year. In the women's high jump, Sweden has gold medal hopes for Kajsa Bergqvist.
A fast, aggressive approach, strong takeoff, beautiful draping of body parts over the bar.
Hestri Cloete of the Republic of South Africa could challenge for a gold medal, and so could a woman from Bulgaria, Venelina Veniva. This could be one of the most interesting competitions of the World Championships. The men's javelin could also be a great competition with the likes of Konstantinos Gatsioutas of Greece. Stephen Backley and Jan Zalesny will also challenge for gold.
Backley, a veteran thrower, recovered from injuries. And the greatest throw we've seen yet, Jan Zalesny, the Olympic champion 3 times.
Yeah, these are tremendous names. There's no doubt about that. Les Gramatic here, the head coach of Team Canada, was literally in awe watching Sergei Bubka leave the room, the 6-time pole vault champion. One thing you should know about Edmonton and the legacy of this competition, much the way Calgary became the real core of winter sport in our country following the '88 Winter Olympic Games. Denny Cordair, the Secretary of State for Amateur Sport, is already on record as saying Edmonton from here on in will be the hub of track and field in Western Canada, and Sherbrooke, because it'll host the World Junior Championships of Track and Field in the year 2003, will become the Eastern Center. But he's designated $5 million per annum to come out and help set up an experienced high-performance sport area here. Look at the facilities, the track itself at Commonwealth Stadium. They've got Mondo surfaces, 4 of them now in the city. The one at Clark Stadium for training is exactly like this one, which was installed this year. $1.5 million to put it in here, a total of $3 million to the Italian-based firm to provide the fastest track in the world, ideal for the sprint competition tomorrow. We will continue to work our way towards the opening ceremony of the 8th IAAF World Championships in Athletics, plus the marathon underway in about 15 minutes.
Dreams. We carry them with us all the time. Some we've had for as long as we can remember. Others are very new. Dreams can comfort us, move us, and inspire us to build a better life. But how does a dream get off the ground? Royal Bank Financial Group, banking, investments, insurance. Make the most of your dreams.
Of course, you know that IBM.com sells ThinkPad notebooks, NetVista desktops. But today, our tech guy, George, is going to tell us about some of the 14,000 other things that we have.
Actually, it's 14,332 at last count, including cables, cameras, disk drives, micro drives, software, servers, printers, projectors, port replicators, and of course, the Bluetooth PC card.
Yeah, and technical advice that you could understand. Now, George, what is this little thing right here?
That's a screw, Leon.
Oh, you're good. I like that. Screw.
This summer, make your entertainment dollar stretch with a passport to the world. Folkfest 2001 is coming. Western Canada's premier cultural festival. Folkfest passports are still only $12. 3 days of sights, sounds, and tastes. Explore Saskatchewan's rich cultural heritage. Visit any one of the pavilions as long as you like, complete with free transportation. Plan your Folkfest visit today. Passports are just $12 for 3 full days, August 16th, 17th, and 18th. Passports available at Saskatoon Safeway, Mac, 7-Eleven, and all pavilion doors. You've been waiting, and now it's here. The X. What a terrific vacation for the entire family. The Conklin shows are a hit, featuring thrilling rides and exciting games for everyone in the family. Fireworks every night at 10:30. The X. It really is a whole new experience. Visit us today.
So many young people scrounging through what we throw out. Ryan says his parents threw him out.
Regret that I didn't finish high school. If I finished high school, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'd probably be doing something with my life.
Welcome Home, changing lives. We help young people discover and develop their potential. To help build Welcome Home, call toll-free 877-888-6767 or visit our website, welcomehomeyouth.org.
$3,000 officials, coaches, and athletes competing here in these World Championships. 5,000 volunteers involved in the photo gallery. Just tremendous here. There's 2,600 members representing the press and the media. Many will be focused on the exploits of the hometown crowd. How will Canada fare? Expectations aren't inordinately high. Les Gramatic, the head coach, will join me in just a moment to discuss what it's like to perform with perhaps the pressure and the support of the Commonwealth crowd. A two-time medalist in World Championship competition, 91 silver and 95 bronze medalist in the decathlon, Michael Smith has a look at Team Canada.
Head coach Les Gramatic gathered his troops in Calgary on Monday, Canada's largest entry ever for the World Championships in athletics. Recent glory on the track has been produced by the sprinters. Donovan Bailey in Atlanta adding Olympic gold to his 1995 World Championship. And Bruni Cern, twice a silver medalist at the Worlds, including Seville, where he equaled Bailey's 9.84 standard. However, trouble brewed between the speedsters and the coach. Misunderstanding was the main means of communication. Headlines shouted out the discourse just days from the start of the World Championships. The top two sprinters and the coach seemed miles apart. Reason did prevail eventually, and unity was restored. For Bailey, a trip to Edmonton in June produced another national title and one last chance to represent Canada at the Worlds. Canada's star emphasis has shifted to the field athletes like Jason Tunks. The 6'6" London, Ontario strongman performed well at the Olympics and is ranked among the top few in the world. Shot putter Brad Snyder has steadily progressed towards world-class status. The Windsor native has extended the national record this season. and Mark Boswell continues his fine form. He led the way for Canada's jumpers in Sydney, and his 2:31 at the Francophonie Games indicated he's on course for contender status in Edmonton. On the horizon are young stars like Windsor's Scott Russell, who made a dramatic debut this year with a national record throw. Perdita Felicien of Pickering, Ontario has come on strong in the 100-meter hurdles, running consistently good times and promising to get even better. Also, sprinter Nicholas Macrazaner has chased down Donovan Bailey at the Nationals and has Olympic experience under his belt. He's one to watch. Canada's team hoping to create a sound foundation for the future.
The dulcet tones of that world-class athlete, Michael Smith. And there's Bruce Deacon of London, two-time Olympian, two-time World Championship competitor, a PB of 2:13 in the marathon. And Les, how about Bruce in terms of tonight?
Well, Bruce is our top marathon runner, has been for a while, and unfortunately has struggled with a little bit of injuries, but he seems to be ready to go, and we're looking forward for a good finish. It's an extremely competitive field, as you probably know, with the 5 athletes per country. It's very difficult to make headways.
Yeah, it's a team competition. They'll have prize money for that, too. It'll be an exciting, exciting marathon tonight, and especially neat to see the finish with the ceremony. I don't know how it'll be for covering. It'll be probably Don and Jeff will be pulling their hair out trying to get more of a marathon on. When did you find out you'd be the man in charge of this Canadian?
After 99 in Spain, we tried to think about how we can make this better, and I really, knowing that it's in Alberta and knowing that's in Edmonton, I really wanted to have a second run at the head coaching position, and I've been lucky enough to have the chance to do it, and I really, really enjoy the opportunity. It's a great honor.
We both remember, and it seems like all we ever talk about is the relay teams, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but let's begin with Donovan Bailey and the heat that he's faced, and I think Bruni may have referenced a little bit too that he feels sometimes unappreciated either by Athletics Canada or by Canadians. In Donovan's case, he was feeling that for all he had done, he didn't seem to feel that there was a warmth. Do you think he brought it on himself with his demeanor? Do you think it's a fact that Canadians have just gone sour, maybe ever since Ben, either because they thought Ben cheated or because they thought Canada got cheated, that Ben was singled out?
Yeah. It is a complex issue. First of all, I think these two people have contributed and brought track and field and athletics, as we call it, to the forefront for Canadian. I mean, their contribution with Glenroy together is 32 years of national team representation. They are recognized very well around the world, probably more so than in Canada. So the opportunity for them to be in Canada a few occasions is sometimes a lot of pressure on them. I'm not trying to make excuses. Some of the things they have done perhaps could have been done differently or interpreted differently. But in general, I think there has been some misunderstanding from how they are and who they are versus what exactly being presented. Nevertheless, they're still there and they still represent the sport. It's very, very well around the world as Canadians.
Well, what's your take on what they should do to be a part of a team, or should they concern themselves with being part of it? And I'm not talking specifically the relay. It's like I know even other athletes within Team Canada have taken shots from time to time, say quit talking and get the job done. And I don't know if it's a fair criticism that they levy against Donovan and Bruni or not.
There has been some organizational mistakes that perhaps we made through the years, as providing them with additional possibilities that might have been seen by the outsiders as favoritism. And once that's being corrected, which I'm trying, and we're trying to correct it now with the new direction with Athletics Canada, I think we're going to eliminate all those within the team questions. So I guess we're here, most of us now, to focus on present and the future. And whatever was written and said, I really have no. I'm not going to go into war.
They're good questions, Les, really, for Donovan and Bruni. Let me ask you about your team. Are there any injuries or concerns that you have about some of the key people?
No, actually, this is the healthiest team in a long, long time. We have probably a handful of people who have small injuries that we're rather being treated right now. So in essence, we're ready. It's the largest team at this level. As you know, we had an opportunity to bring more people into the championship just because in Canada. And we'll give a tremendous opportunity for some of our younger throwers, especially, who are really just knocking on the door. Their performances currently may not seem to be that good, but if you look at where they are with age and what they possibly can do in the next 10 to 12 years, probably we have a very, very strong and bright future in that area.
We'll have a lot of chance to visit throughout the course of the 10 days. Congrats on being head coach and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Les Skrmatic in charge of the Canadian contingent here. In terms of the World Championships, as we get set for the marathon to get underway, we want to focus a little bit on some of the highlights through the previous 7 events. And let's go down to the mix area now. And Mark Lee. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Ron. You know, since the inaugural World Championships back in 1983 in Helsinki, exceptional athletes have risen to the occasion on this field of play. This event is truly a showcase of human endeavor mixed with artistry and drama. And the athletes we'll be watching over the next 10 days will be just as driven and determined as the great champions who've come before them. The first World Championships, Helsinki 1983. Jarmila Kratochvilova wins both the 4 and 800 meters. The only woman ever to do that. Sergei Bubka, the first man over 20 feet in pole vault, and in 1983, the first of 6 straight world titles. The gifted Edwin Moses peaked in Helsinki, winning the 400 hurdles by 10 meters, even as his shoe came untied. In Rome 1987, Ben Johnson versus Carl Lewis, and Johnson's world record time, a fleeting moment quashed years later by drug scandal. The queen of heptathlon, Jackie Joyner-Kersey's 7-year reign, broken only by her broken body in Tokyo 1991. King Carl came back for gold in Tokyo, only to be upstaged again, this time in the long jump. Mike Powell soared, breaking Bob Beeman's 1968 world record and becoming the first man to beat Lewis in 10 years. Concentration in Stuttgart 1993. Cuba's Javier Sotomayor, the only human over 8 feet in the high jump. For British hurdler Sally Gunnell, a world record 400 hurdles was viewed by some as the best race ever in a World Championships. Her compatriot Jonathan Edwards would share the feeling 2 years later in Göteborg, Sweden, with an astounding triple jump world record just over 60 feet. Also in 1995, 2 Americans stopped the clock in world record time. Kim Batten beating Tanya Buford by the closest of margins, 1/100th of a second. In Athens 1997, the incomparable Michael Johnson defends his 400-meter crown for the 3rd of what would be 4 straight world titles. Merlene Ottey, the most decorated athlete in World Championship history. But in Athens, she failed to hear the recall gun for a false start in the 100 meters. Fatigued when the race was rerun, she finished out of the medals. Gail Devers was not to be denied in Seville 1999. She sailed through the 100 hurdles in U.S. record time all the way to her 5th World Championship. Peerless Marion Jones holds dominion over the sprints. In Seville, she defended her global title with distinction in 10.70 seconds. For her, the race was within. Fellow American Maurice Green, the world's fastest man, would struggle to keep his crown in Seville. For 90 meters, Canada's Bruni Surin was stride for stride. In the blink of a moment, the brash American prevailed in a sparkling 9.80. And the World Championships may well be the hardest place to set a world record. They're unlike invitational championships where the stars can often pick who they compete against and often get byes right through to the final. Here in Edmonton over the next week and a half, they'll have to endure withering rounds and then still have something left for the final. Ron, it should be great. Back to you.
Maybe that $100,000 U.S. mark for a world record will entice them to something big here in Edmonton. Helen, a quick look ahead to the opening ceremony. What are they trying to achieve here tonight?
Well, they're trying to really show the whole world what Edmonton is about, what Alberta is about, and what the country is about through a show of our history and our culture. And they're doing that musically with song and dance and lots of color. It's going to be quite spectacular.
And a huge part of it will be the marathon for the first time ever. Let's get to that story now. Back to Don and Jeff, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ron. Hi, everybody. And 103 marathoners will get an opportunity to see some of the sights of the city of Edmonton as they run their 42.195 kilometers. There are 5 members on the Canadian team, led by Bruce Deacon, who is wearing number 168. And as we take a look at some of the other outstanding runners in this field, you have Kiprono from Kenya, you have Antonio Pina of Spain, Canucci, formerly of Morocco, now representing the United States and running under American colors for the first time. Abera of Ethiopia. Abera of Ethiopia, the Olympic champion, 23 years old. From Korea, Lee Bong-chu, who after winning the Boston Marathon, came to Edmonton and ran the marathon course here in the Alberta capital. And also from South Africa, Gert Thijs, the national record holder. And also from South Africa, Josiah Tagwani, the 1996 Olympic gold medalist. Jeff, 103 competitors representing 46 countries. 9 of the top 10 marathoners this year in the world are participating in the World Championships here in Edmonton. I would suggest it would be very risky to try and predict a winner among this very talented group.
And there's the Canadian team briefly on screen. Each of the nations grouped by team. Yes, the Canadian team.
There are 5 members on the Canadian team. Fraser Bertram wearing number 154. Steve Bohan, number 156. Bruce Deacon, we pointed him out earlier, number 168. Christian Merriman, number 175. And Oliver Utting, who is wearing number 187.
Ready?
They will make 2 laps of the track inside the stadium before heading out onto the streets of Edmonton. And it is a relatively flat course, 26 miles, 385 yards, or 42.195 kilometers. And the marathon will finish back here at Commonwealth Stadium. They will run 3/4 of a lap once they re-enter the stadium.
You said, Don, that there are 103 men from 46 countries. 28 of these men have run faster than 2 hours 10 minutes for the marathon. So you're absolutely right. It's a fool's job to predict a winner. Incorporated into this event also, there is the team competition, the IAAF team competition, in which each country can pick 5 athletes, 3 of whom will count towards the team competition. So we've got 2 competitions within one. We drove the course yesterday. It's flat for 2/3 of the distance. The wind that has got up this afternoon later may in fact cause a bit of difficulty for them. The final third of the competition, however, is extremely difficult. Some nasty hills, one hill of at least 1 kilometer long, which will certainly test them at a time when they will be beginning to feel fatigue.
To the left of the picture is 1179, Caleb Canucci of the United States. He holds the world marathon best set in Chicago in 1999. Now, he missed the Olympic Games in Sydney last year because he wasn't granted citizenship in time to compete in the U.S. marathon trials.
Just as they're settling down and getting into a rhythm as they leave the stadium, Don, the distance of 42.195 meters or 26 miles, 385 yards was fixed officially in 1924. This was the distance run in the 1908 Olympic Games, Windsor Castle to the White City Stadium, London, won by John Hayes of the United States in 2 hours, 55 minutes, 18.4 seconds. The first man under 2:30 was Albert Mickelson of the United States in 1925, and the first man under 2:20 was Jim Peters in the Windsor to Chiswick Marathon of Great Britain. Peters set 4 world bests in his career. Derek Clayton of Australia was the first to average sub-5-minute miles, running 2:09:36.4 at Fukuoka, Japan in December 1967.
You let the cat out of the bag, Jeff. You said we drove the course. I was going to suggest we ran the course, but we did drive the course. And there is one stretch at about the halfway point where they go down Grote Hill and Grote Road and down into the valley, and then they have to come out of the river valley, and that will test some of the competitors.
It will not only test them, Don, but I think it may well be a place where someone tries to make a break, particularly if they're feeling good, and particularly if they're good climbers on the hills.
They are heading down 112th Avenue, and then they will make their way down to Edmonton's main street, Jasper Avenue, and it is a fairly lengthy run along Jasper Avenue before they turn off onto 102nd Avenue.
You confess, Don, that we drove the course yesterday. We should not give up, however, because the oldest man known to have completed a marathon, Dimitriou Ioannidis of Greece, 98 years of age, and he took 7 hours and 33 minutes in Athens to do that in 1976. So there is hope for us.
So they are nicely underway in the marathon, the first event of the 2001 World Championships here in Edmonton. And the capacity crowd will be rejoining these competitors here at the stadium in about 2.5 hours' time. But the opening ceremonies will be coming up, and we'll have them for you in just a moment.
Photo finishers? Oh, you've been to one, you've been to them all. Attaboy, Jimmy.
For better colors, look for a Kodak Image Check store.
Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain, is almost anywhere you want to go. The world's largest hotel chain tucks you in around the globe. With over 4,000 hotels in over 80 countries, the world's largest hotel chain is Best Western, inviting you to get a good night's sleep. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Call 1-800-WESTERN or visit bestwestern.com.
Change photo finishers.
What's the point? Oh, who's hungry?
For truer colors, look for a Kodak Image Check store.
This summer, make your entertainment dollars stretch with a passport to the world. Folkfest 2001 is coming. Western Canada's premier cultural festival. Folkfest passports are still only $12. 3 days of sights, sounds, and tastes. Explore Saskatchewan's rich cultural heritage. Visit any one of the pavilions as long as you like, complete with free transportation. Plan your Folkfest visit today. Passports are just $12 for 3 full days, August 16th, 17th, and 18th. Passports available at Saskatoon Safeway, Mac, 7-Eleven, and all pavilion doors. You've been waiting, and now it's here. The X, what a terrific vacation for the entire family. The Conklin shows are a hit, featuring thrilling rides and exciting games for everyone in the family. Fireworks every night at 10:30. The X, it really is a whole new experience. Visit us today.
She hates flying.
Oh my gosh!
She doesn't like France.
Rude and interesting are not the same thing.
So, what is she doing in Paris?
I'm gonna get him back and I'm gonna make him love me.
Do you have a plan?
Oh, my money, my passport, my vitamins.
I stay, I help you.
Go away. Stop following me.
Starring Meg Ryan and Kevin Kline.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Wish you were here.
French Kiss, Sunday at 8 on CBC.
Welcome back. A beautiful night here in Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium. It's opening night, and the opening ceremony is approximately 10 minutes away. Don Whitman, Jeff Gowan will continue to follow the marathon. We'll return to their coverage in just a couple of moments. In terms of the ceremony itself, the first thing we await now is the arrival of the Earl and Countess of Wessex, and I'm joined once again by Helen Mann, the CBC News anchor here in Edmonton, who serves a lot of double duty on the network. Of course, Helen, just after a 3-week stint in Toronto, so you have a pretty good sense of the Premier's conference as well as the Royals' visit here to Edmonton.
You keep up with everything in this business. Now, we have, of course, many dignitaries who have already arrived. Prime Minister Chrétien, Premier Klein, the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, and the Mayor, but a lot of people waiting right now for, as you mentioned, the entrance of the royal party, the Earl of Wessex and his wife, the Countess of Wessex, better known as Prince Edward for most of his years, and his wife, Sophie Rees-Jones, the former Sophie Rees-Jones.
RCMP headquarters here in Edmonton also has a rich tradition. Of course, tradition dating back to 1874 when the Northwest Mounted Police came here to try and organize the fur trade and try and end the whiskey trade. I don't know how popular they were at that time, but everyone loves our Mounties now.
They do, and there's some Mounties participating tonight. It's a beautiful, colorful troupe, of course, and it's going to look really quite wonderful. The Earl and Countess married 2 years ago in June of '99. He, of course, is in the television business, television and film. He's a producer, does a lot of documentaries about the royal family. She is a PR executive with her own public relations firm in London.
So you and I are really auditioning here.
You never know. Yeah, I think it's called Ardent Productions, if I recall, and he's the head of production there, and he hosts a lot of things himself for that company.
Alberta, the province, takes her name from Princess Caroline, Alberta, the fourth daughter of Queen Victoria.
That's right. And her husband was the first lieutenant governor, or one of the first lieutenant governors here. Actually, Governor General of Canada, I should say. So he's the one that chose to name this province after his wife. And Lake Louise is also named after her, because I think it's Louise, Caroline, Alberta.
Jack Agrios, the bid co-chairman, leading the Royals, along with Lalim Dayak, the newly appointed president of the IAAF. He had been serving as acting president since the untimely death of Primo Nebbiolo in November of 1999.
The royal party climbing up to visit with the other dignitaries. The crowd obviously very pleased to see them here.
May I just say how delighted we are to be here in Edmonton, and may I also take this opportunity to pass on Her Majesty the Queen of Canada's warmest greetings to you all, and wishes Edmonton, the athletes, and the IAAF a successful World Championships in athletics. Thank you very much.
We said it was going to be a capacity crowd here at Commonwealth Stadium. As you mentioned, about 40,000 members of the public, another 20,000 seats for the athletes themselves. They'll actually sit through this ceremony. A lot of dignitaries, coaches and other officials, of course, as well.
We know of 200 countries here for the opening ceremony. There is talk of as many as 209 attending. 202 in Seville, Spain is the greatest turnout ever. Some of the named countries not here: Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, Cyprus, and Aruba. But there is a chance during the course of the 10 days that may change.
Well, we heard Les Romantic say how, you know, his people are recognized more overseas than they are here. And of course, I think people in Canada haven't perhaps grasped the significance of these events. 4 billion people around the world apparently watch the IAAF championships every year, every 2 years when they're held.
Standing by to bring you the opening ceremony to these 8th IAAF World Championships of Athletics. We'll come back with the ceremony, plus continue our coverage of the men's marathon as we carry on from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton.
Dreams. They may be different for each of us, but we put the same things into them. Our hopes, our aspirations, our futures, with the faith that one day these dreams will come to fruition. A dream should never be let go. Instead ask, how can I make my dream grow?
This summer, make your entertainment dollars stretch with a passport to the world. Folkfest 2001 is coming. Western Canada's premier cultural festival. Folkfest passports are still only $12. 3 days of sights, sounds, and tastes. Explore Saskatchewan's rich cultural heritage. Visit any one of the pavilions as long as you like, complete with free transportation. Plan your Folkfest visit today. Passports are just $12 for 3 full days, August 16th, 17th, and 18th. Passports available at Saskatoon Safeway, Mac, 7-Eleven, and all pavilion doors.
Over the years, this gifted entertainer, Jonathan Torrens, has shown us many sides of himself. The singer, the dancer, the joker. But this young man has shown us so much more. His boundless blonde ambition has shown us how to laugh, how to cry, and how to look good in a wide variety of sweaters regardless of color or pattern. Join us for Jonavision, Tuesday to Thursday at 5:30 on CBC.
sitting here an hour. He's peed 3 times already.
A homespun thriller.
You want your own wife kidnapped? Yeah.
About a cop
You okay, Margie?
It's just morning sickness.
and a killer.
I was just wondering if you'd had any new vehicles stolen the past couple of weeks.
Would it kill you to say something?
Nope.
He was kind of funny looking. Oh, yeah?
Where's my daughter?
Is this a joke?
Winner of 2 Academy Awards.
I'm cooperating here.
Fargo, August 11th on CBC.
Back in Edmonton, and a chance to catch up on our marathon coverage. Once again, Don Whitman and Jeff Galloway.
Well, Ron, the marathoners are 14 minutes into the race, and they are moving along Jasper Avenue in the heart of downtown Edmonton. And a 30-year-old from Trinidad, Ronnie Halassi, is leading the way. He has opened up a fairly sizable gap between himself and the pursuing group. Halassi does have credentials, however. He's not necessarily a flash in the pan trying for 15 minutes of glory. Jeff, he is a 2-hour and 13-minute marathoner.
Yes, 2 hours, 13 minutes, a respectable time, but he has a lot of men in here, as we said. 28, faster than 2 hours 10, so I don't think he'll be at the front for too much longer. This is a team competition as well, as we told you. 5 men in the team, 3 men to count, and some of the stronger nations include Italy, Morocco, Japan very strong, South Africa strong, and of course Kenya, who only have 3 men in this race, but if all 3 count, of course they'll be eligible for the team competition. So we've got some very, very strong marathon runners in this place. Certainly the highest quality race ever seen in North America.
A 16-second gap between the leader and the pursuing group, and in that group, Abdel El Mouaziz of Morocco, who has an incredible performance record in the past 4 London marathons, where he was first, second, and second. And he is one of the definite contenders for the World Championship gold medal.
Yes, and there are many more, but as you said at the outset, Don, it's a difficult job, maybe a foolhardy job to predict the individual winner. We have been having a private little bet between ourselves about the time of the winner. My view is that Rob Di Castella's best championship performance set in Helsinki of 2 hours 10.03, as we see a runner now out of the race very early, A. Hassan.
Hassan of Somalia is on the sidelines and continuing to lead the way from Trinidad, the man who has been out in front almost since the start of this race, and that is Ronnie Halassi, a 30-year-old, as he moves his way along Jasper Avenue, passing a refreshment stand and taking advantage. Now let's rejoin Helen Mann and Ron McLean.
Don, thanks very much. Helen and I are all set, along with the choreographer Krista Monson, to begin the show. The production number that will begin a 5-set show here at Commonwealth Stadium is The Quest.
Inspired by the men's marathon.
The aim of this first number is to point out Edmonton's spirit as City of Champions, as you say, to really hone in on what an athlete experience is. And in the marathoner's case, at first, they are all body, they are primal, they are strong. So the drum beat reflects that sense of purpose and exuberance. Eventually, some of the other numbers will represent hitting the wall. There are 4 tribes here. The 4 colors of the championship logo, of course, the yellow, red, blue, and green. Each tribe consists of tribespeople led by tribal leaders called gods and royals, who we'll see here in a moment.
And there are initiates that will come into this picture a little bit later as well. You'll hear a strong drum beat, and that represents the heartbeat of the athlete. These people representing the royals.
maybe is now not the time to point out that these costumes were designed by Brock Lumsden. Didn't have to do much there, but as you can see, some beautiful work here with the spandex material. Brock Lumsden.
4,500 costumes in this opening ceremony alone, 6,000 between the opening and the closing ceremonies. There's 47 costume changes we can expect here. The audience is actually participating in this event. There's a call and answer response thing going on, and you can see on the Jumbotron, they'll tell people what they're expected to do. They respond to each of the 4 tribes. There's 1,378 performers involved in this production number, and they're all local people who have volunteered their time. 100 hours in rehearsal over the last few months. Very enthusiastic volunteers. They're now revealing the ladders that have been carried in. We didn't see that. They were covered with fabric, but these are ladders that are being revealed.
And these are the new tribe members, as you say, the initiates, who will now be initiated in each tribe.
They're going to put together a structure here, too. God send the tribespeople apparently to help with construction as they build a place to live, a place to celebrate. Want to be an initiate. They're actually supposed to be being sacrificed to these god characters.
Rookies always have a tough time, Helen, in these competitions. That's the nature of sport.
They do indeed.
flag dancing, an adaptation of the original geisha dance, the dance of liberation.
You watch the athleticism of these initiates. They are cast actually from local cheerleading groups. The initiates are now climbing the ladders. Of course, you can see they're wearing the colors of the IAAF.
First step of the marathon reflected here. The athlete surrounding himself with his universe and now completely occupied with his or her body. The Quest, production number 1. The opening ceremony to the 8th IIF Championships of Track and Field continue.
Expands from 5-Star, the tough, durable school supplies with a zippered section that lets you carry more.
Pop quiz. Put everything away.
So how much more can you fit in Expands? A lot. Expands from 5-Star, built strong to last long, each sold separately.
When you've got a tough headache, it takes just one small thing to make you miserable. For fast relief, remember, one Advil is often enough. Advil for today's tough pain.
Back in Edmonton, outside Commonwealth Stadium, the marathon continues. Don and Jeff.
Well, Ron, they're almost half an hour into the race, and Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad shows no signs of slowing down. He is still maintaining that 16-second advantage over the large group of pursuers as they have moved off Jasper Avenue, over the bridge, over the river valley, and onto 102nd Avenue. And you see the gap between Halassi, a 30-year-old from Trinidad, and the pursuing group. And in this pursuing group, the man in second place at the moment is Matthias Ntawul Ekura of Rwanda. But all the main contenders are also in this pursuing group.
Absolutely, and it is early days yet. I started my thoughts on what time this would be won in, Don, earlier on before we were interrupted by the injury. And I think Rob Di Castella's championship record of 2 hours 10:03 will stand. I think it'll take them a little longer than that. Edmonton is around 700 meters above sea level. That doesn't perhaps hinder too much, but it certainly doesn't help either. We've got a stronger breeze than we had when we went round the course yesterday, and we've got the final third of the course where there are some hills to climb which will test them when they're tired. And I would suspect we're looking at the high 2 hours 10 minutes or maybe 2:11 for the winner, but it's an impossible job to predict who the winner is, so high is the quality of this field.
There were some concerns from the marathoners earlier about weather conditions for their race. I think they would have appreciated slightly cooler temperatures than we've experienced today, where it has been around 30 degrees.
Yes, certainly, but it is beginning to cool off now, and this breeze that is blowing will help them to get rid of their heat, because it's important that they dissipate that heat by sweating and having the sweat evaporate.
So they're just about half an hour into the race, and continuing to lead is Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad. Ron?
Thank you, Don. The parade of athletes is next here at Commonwealth Stadium.
The athletes of the 8th IAAF World Championships in Athletics.
The athletes have been divided into 6 groups, the IAAF areas of the world, those 6 groups, plus a 7th group, which is, of course, the Canadian team, and they will come in last, as they should. Always like to get the crowd to roar for them as they come in.
Each is led by a puppet representing the region. Africa, of course, represented by the lion.
You wonder if those puppets are inspired perhaps by the Lion King when you look at the construction of them. They're quite beautiful.
Algeria. As we said off the top, a number of athletes competing in the sprints and in competition tomorrow will choose, in view of the heat, not to march here tonight. This is not like an Olympics opening ceremony march, that's for sure.
It's also a very hot night, as you mentioned earlier, and I think that would be pretty taxing on some of the athletes who are competing tomorrow.
Our focus in this parade will be to try and bring some of the countries who are relevant to Edmonton and to Canada. Obviously, the Ukrainian, German delegations. Ukrainians, the 3rd biggest ethnic group here in Edmonton, behind the British and the Germans. There's a huge Chinese factor in Edmonton now.
And the Vietnamese population as well. They took the largest number of boat people in Edmonton of any community in Canada, so it's a very thriving community.
We'll take a quick break here. We'll intersperse coverage of the athletes' parade with the marathon as we continue its opening ceremony night at Commonwealth Stadium, Edmonton 2001.
It's amazing how many people still don't know that aspirin can do more than just relieve everyday pain.
Ouch.
Arthritis pain? Try aspirin. It actually relieves the burning pain of arthritis inflammation right at the site. How's the pain?
Much better.
And aspirin does more. Even if you're over 50 or have certain risk factors, aspirin, when taken daily, is a pain reliever that can also help save your life.
Available coated for stomach protection. Ask your doctor if today's aspirin is right for you.
CBC Radio 2, the guest conductor's first choice.
She hates flying.
Oh my gosh!
She doesn't like France.
Rude and interesting are not the same thing.
So, what is she doing in Paris?
I'm gonna get him back and I'm gonna make him love me.
Do you have a plan?
Oh, my money, my passport, my vitamins.
I stay, I help you.
Go away. Stop following me.
Starring Meg Ryan and Kevin Kline.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Wish you were here.
French Kiss, Sunday at 8 on CBC.
Continuing our coverage of the opening ceremony and the marathon here in Edmonton 2001. Don Whitman and Jeff Gowan are standing by, and Helen Mann and I are here at the south end of Commonwealth Stadium as the Parade of Nations continues with the region representing the African nations. And there's Ethiopia, the home of Haile Gebrselassie, the world record holder in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters. Imagine he runs a 10K in 26 minutes, 22 seconds.
And also the home of the Olympic champion Gezahenge Abera as well. So quite an impressive contingent.
Don, I don't know if Gebrselassie is related to Ronnie Halassi.
Ronnie Halassi from Trinidad, Ron, and he from the start has gone to the front and continues to lead. But Khaled Kanuchi, now of the United States, is running in 4th place, and he came into this race as one of the people many projected as a medalist. He moved to Brooklyn in 1993 from his home country of Morocco because he felt his talent wasn't fully appreciated by the Moroccan Athletics Federation, and he has already traveled a long way to become a Team USA athlete. When he arrived in the United States, he worked as a dishwasher in a restaurant in New York, often training late at night after 12, 13, and 14-hour shifts. As I mentioned earlier, he hadn't received his citizenship and an opportunity to compete for the United States in the Sydney Olympic Games. And here in the World Championships, he is running under American colors for the very first time, and very proud of the fact.
Certainly is, and he's had some back spasm problems and was not about to reveal his state of fitness. The fact that he's here and running suggests that he is perfectly fit and capable of handling this race.
We mentioned earlier that the leader, Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad, is 30 years old, but he has very impressive credentials. He has a personal best time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 3 seconds, a time he ran earlier this year in Turin, Italy, where he finished in 7th place.
Still in that lonely position out front, being chased by this pack. The pack in no hurry to try to consume him because it's early days yet, and the pack a very large one, partly a reflection on the very fine talent that we have in this field.
Starting out from Commonwealth Stadium, then working along Jasper Avenue, now on to 142nd Street, and then they will work their way over in front of the West Edmonton Mall. I don't think they'll be stopping for any shopping, but they will continue on from there and start working their way into the tougher part of the course.
The only shopping they're doing now, of course, is taking water and other fluids in at the drinking stations, at the feeding stations. It's very important that these athletes know exactly how they react to the fluid. In some cases, they like to take frequent small doses. In other cases, less frequent larger doses. And they're allowed a special mixture in order to give them nutrition along the course. But it's critical that they do this because they're generating an enormous amount of heat by running. It's hot anyway. They must get rid of this by sweating and the sweat evaporating. And this means they must replace that fluid. Otherwise, from about 20 miles onwards, they can be in trouble and hit the famous wall that we've talked about so much over the years. But this pack is still a formidably sized pack. 10 kilometers, 36:08. So it's relatively slow, despite the fact that this is the easiest part of the course, and it may be that the breeze is getting to them a little bit. They'll certainly find it different over the final third of the course when they have some nasty climbs to reconnoiter.
And they also make their way down Grote Road and into Howrelloch Park. And Howrelloch Park is where the World Triathlon Championships were held in Edmonton a couple of weeks ago. And then when they leave the park, an area that could very well test these marathoners and determine the winner, they have a very tough climb of about 1 kilometer before making their way back onto a flat surface and working their way back to Commonwealth Stadium, where they will be greeted by a capacity crowd of 40,000 who are now enjoying the opening ceremonies and the Parade of Nations. But there's quite a parade in behind the leader, Ronnie Halassi, who has about a 16-second lead. We'll be back with more after this.
Dreams. They can give us hope. Hope to make the grade. Hope to be brave. To win against the odds. Sometimes it's just hope to carry on. In every community, there are dreams full of hope.
Enter the monolith. Come to the Saskatoon International Fringe Festival, August 3rd to the 12th. The 2001 Fringe Odyssey, a Mobius trip at the intersection of here, there, and everywhere.
Monday on CBC Radio.
Hi, I'm Ted Deller. It's a holiday weekend here in Saskatchewan, and in honor of Saskatchewan Day on Monday, we're playing Saskatchewan music by Saskatchewan artists from 6 to 9 on the morning edition, Monday.
Been sitting here an hour. It's peed 3 times already.
A homespun thriller.
You want your own wife kidnapped? Yeah.
About a cop.
You okay, Margie?
It's just morning sickness.
And a killer.
I was just wondering if you'd had any new vehicles stolen the past couple of weeks.
Would it kill you to say something?
No.
He was kind of funny looking. Oh, yeah?
Where's my daughter?
Is this a joke?
Winner of 2 Academy Awards.
I'm cooperating here.
Fargo, August 11th on CBC.
What makes us different on Canada Now is that we provide the kind of in-depth coverage of Saskatchewan stories that you just won't get anywhere else. We were first when we brought you the story about the cracks in the coalition government. We thought it was important enough to be there when the new Premier of Saskatchewan was elected, and we were the only station in Saskatchewan to provide wall-to-wall coverage. It's Saskatchewan, it's Canada Now. Check us out.
Welcome back to Edmonton. It's a beautiful summer evening in the Alberta capital, and the marathoners continue on their course. And as he has for most of the race, Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad is leading the way. They say it's lonely at the top. I suppose it can sometimes be lonely out in front. What might Halassi be thinking, Jeff, as he often glances back to see what's taking place behind him?
Well, I hope first of all he's thinking, how am I feeling? Have I got into a nice rhythm? Can I sustain this sort of pace? Where are the pack? What are they doing? Are they leaving me to my own devices for a while, and will I see them in more close proximity later on? But he's buoyed by the fact that he's leading and running well, and he knows within himself how he's feeling and how this pace is affecting him. He's got a comfortable lead on the pack at the moment, but at 2 hours 13 and change for the marathon, he really hasn't got the class of many of the men following in this large pack. But he's enjoying his moment in the sun, and he's running well, and one would hope that he has confidence in his ability to sustain this for a longer period.
Large crowds lining the marathon route on the streets of Edmonton. Let's rejoin Helen Mann and Ron McLean.
Thank you, Don. We're just set to welcome our second region, and that, of course, is the Dragon representing Asia.
And as each group enters, you'll hear some different music. It's all been composed especially for this event. There are 6 different tunes. They're supposed to use the instruments that are common in those areas of the world when they play them as well.
The only other time that the World Championships were out of Europe, of course, was for Tokyo in 1991, and we're all very excited about the Chinese presence here in Edmonton in view of the 2008 successful bid by Beijing. 15 athletes from China, and they have a press delegation of 6, and I can't recall, I know that doesn't sound enormous, but it's the first time I can recall that many Chinese being participants at the World Championship.
Cambodia, le Cambodge.
With respect to the media, that is.
Yes, of course.
La République Populaire de Chine.
One of the other things people have probably been noticing is the pictograms in the crowd. A lot of people on the east side of the stands, they've all been given these cards with different colors, and they'll flip them as different groups come in. That's why you saw Asia, of course, printed across there. So there's a big crowd participation aspect to all of this.
Hong Kong, China. Hong Kong, Chine. L'Inde, India. L'Indonésie, Indonesia.
So Don and Jeff will continue to follow the Parade of Nations, catch up with Vietnam, which will be a popular entry here in Edmonton, but back to you for the marathon.
And in the marathon, in the pursuing group, the Olympic champion Avera, and also this year's Boston Marathon winner, Lee Bong-chu of Korea. As we mentioned earlier, following his victory in the Boston Marathon, he flew to Edmonton and ran the marathon course here in the Alberta capital to familiarize himself with the route. Of course, all these runners are familiar with the marathon route. And Jeff, would the pursuing pack be thinking, we'll wait until we get to the top part of the course after we come out of Hawrelak Park and have to make the climb to perhaps make a move?
Yes, there's no panic at all by this pursuing pack. They know there's a long, long way to go yet. They know their capabilities. They know he's a 2-hour, 13-minute marathon runner and therefore should be catchable. So they're not panicking. They're concentrating on their own task. In terms of the team competition, the Italians are well up here. The United States have 2 or 3 representatives. The Koreans are there, and the Japanese are there. The Japanese have been very thorough. 3 of their 5 have already run this Edmonton course, so they know exactly what it feels like, and they know when to make their effort. So the pack are comfortable at the moment, pursuing the leader, knowing that they will eventually catch him. And if it's not on this flat area, it certainly might be once they get into the hilly areas in the final third.
Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad continuing to lead and continuing to maintain about a 16-second gap on a very large group of pursuers. Very often in a marathon, you'll see one runner move into the lead, and then a pursuing group of about 5 or 6 will run together, separating themselves from another group of maybe 10 or 12 runners. But we have a situation here in this year's world competition where Halassi has gone to the front, and then the group of pursuers, about 30 of them, have decided to stay together.
They can feed off each other too. Their very presence, rather than being alone, as this man is, their very presence in a group can help to shield them from some of the breeze too, and generally feed on each other's presence. So the pack are very happy to let him run at the moment.
Continuing to lead is Ronnie Halassi, and continuing to follow the opening ceremonies, Ron and Helen.
Thank you, Don. We'll try and get you a shot. Pakistan just entered the stadium. Japan entering moments ago. As you can see, they're on pace with Ronnie Halassi here in the Parade of Nations. Also Lebanon and huge
right.
Lebanese.
Quite a large Lebanese community here in Edmonton who'd like to see that team. There's 45 Asian nations represented in this event tonight.
The World Championships has really been a three-nation show,
Saudi Arabia,
with the United States leading the way in terms of medal haul, as you might well expect. They've been the dominant country in competition. Russia, of course, with the split, isn't the force that it once was. The Americans have sent a huge delegation here to these games. USA has won a total of 149 medals. Germany is second with 121, and Germany has a large athletic contingent here.
When you look back at some of the world records, it's interesting to note that so many of them, especially in the strength sports, were set in the 1980s when the Eastern Bloc was noted for using steroids, unfortunately, and also, of course, had very excellent training programs. But a lot of people feel that those records will never be broken in some sports.
No, and the new doping story here at 2001 will undoubtedly be blood doping, which was up until about 1984 not even a banned issue with the IOC or with the IAAF. But EPO, erythropoietin, which is a hormone in the body that produces the red blood cells, they have found a way to synthetically reproduce that hormone, and it can boost red blood cells by 25 to 35%. They are going to test for EPO here at these championships, as they did in Sydney, and that's already led to a significant story.
Yes, involving Gabrielle Szabo of Romania, threatening to boycott if Olga Yegorova is allowed to run after she's had her B test come back positive.
We'll know on Sunday with respect to that.
And we're going to head back now to the marathon coverage with Don and Jeff.
Thank you, Helen, and it's the familiar figure of Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad continuing to lead the way. His time at 15Ks, 47:02.
Still ahead now. He glances back to see where the pack is as a gentleman wanders nonchalantly onto the course. I hope he gets out of the way. We don't want any hindrance. They've got enough trouble running this race without people getting in the way. We're not moving particularly quickly despite the fact that we're on the flats, but this breeze may be adversely affecting their performance. And we had Natawuli Kura of Rwanda in the yellow, lying second in the pack at the moment. He's shown a certain amount of impatience, and he may try a break shortly, but we have a very strong Ethiopian team well represented in that pack, and Spain also, Korea and Japan.
And now let's rejoin Ron and Helen.
Thanks. The Europeans entering the stadium now. Their giant puppet preceding them is a stag.
That's a red deer, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you just are so looking to get an excuse in to mention Red Deer, your hometown. Well, it could be Red Deer. There are 48 countries in the European group. It includes Israel as well.
Andorra, l'odeur.
would be interesting to know how many athletes have chosen to skip tonight's ceremony, as you mentioned, because of competition this weekend, the heat perhaps being a little bit too much to bear for them when they're getting prepared to run tomorrow in particular.
To be truthful, Helen, there's more than I expected. There are so many, obviously, of the 200 plus nations who do not have large delegations here.
Belarus, la Biélorussie.
There's Team Japan. They've already moved up into the grandstand.
Belgium.
Best meet in terms of world records had to be 91 in Tokyo when Mike Powell set the world record in the long jump, shattering Bob Beeman's seemingly impossible mark that had been set at Mexico City in 1968. Carl Lewis set a world record in the 100-meter sprint, 6 men running under 10 seconds. Sergei Bubka on an injured ankle winning probably his toughest gold medal, although some would argue coming back from an Achilles at Athens would be that. But a tremendously popular competition for the athletes was Tokyo 91.
And of course, we saw the Japanese team sitting in the stands. The team members will all end up in the stands this evening, the athletes. A lot of these events, you see them standing on the field, but Canada's really been a leader in the seating of athletes in international events, starting with the 1988 Winter Olympics.
There's Jan Zalesny, sorry Helen, Jan Zalesny, the great javelin thrower for the Czech Republic.
Le Danemark. Denmark. Estonia. L'Estonie.
Have to check with Don and Jeff if Wilson Kipketer's still competing for the Danes, the former Kenyan.
La Finlande. Finland. La France. France.
Great response from the crowd here to the French team.
Marie-Josée Perric, a great 400-meter runner from France, is not here at Edmonton and seemingly has disappeared. She, of course, came to Sydney when Kathy Freeman won the gold and bolted before the games actually began, but she used to be one of the signature athletes. Eunice Barber, great heptathlete from France. And here comes the large German delegation. 39 men competing on behalf of Germany here at Edmonton 2001, and 35 women.
A large German population in Alberta as well, particularly south of Edmonton and around the Calgary area. A lot of people immigrated after the Second World War and set up farms in that area.
La Grande-Bretagne, Great Britain.
Right, it's the second largest ethnic group in Edmonton. I was surprised.
The Earl and Countess of Wessex obviously enjoying their own team entering.
Greece, La Grèce.
And if a 98-year-old can complete a marathon, I should think most of the athletes from Greece can handle the heat tonight.
They won't have to deal with the smog that they would have to probably deal with in Athens as well.
Site of the 2004 Summer Games.
La Hongrie, Hungary. Iceland, l'Islande. L'Irlande, Ireland.
My colleague Mark Connolly from CBC Edmonton will be cheering right now.
Israel, Israel. L'Italie, Italy.
As expected, a great response for the Italians as well as we go back to the marathon course and resume our coverage there with Don and Jeff. Don?
Well, Ron, the lead of the man from Trinidad, Ronnie Halassi, has shrunk, and one of those in pursuit is Abdelkader El Mouazis of Morocco, this year's London Marathon winner. He is in the pursuing group, at one time had moved up into second place. And Halassi had been running a very steady pace, Jeff, just over 15 minutes for each of the first 5 kilometers.
Yes, good even pace running, which is highly recommended. This man, 4:01, enormous talent. First and second, as you mentioned at the top of this coverage, Don, in the last 4 London marathons. And he won with a personal best this year in London at 2:07:11, comprising half marathons of 63.51 minutes and 63.20 minutes. A very, very even pace running. The pack had a restless period and began to disintegrate a little. They've reformed now, but Mouazis is in second place, and he has talent, and he's gradually catching the leader.
Halassi is leading the way as they work their way over to Grote Road and down into the river valley, and they are nearing the halfway point in this opening event of the World Championships in Edmonton, the men's marathon. Now back to Ron and Helen.
Well, actually, Don, we'll stay with you for marathon coverage. We just wanted to acknowledge the Polish delegation entering, also the Portuguese, the Romanians, of course. Gabriela Szabo is in the headlines, but a big part of this competition. Romania closely linked with the Ukrainian population that moved here from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They were supported by the Romanians and the Poles to a great extent. So the first wave of 170,000 Ukrainians who came over here, many had family ties to Romania, so there'll be people cheering for them. And Whit, you can carry on with the marathon too. We'll just keep our eye peeled for some of the popular nations here as we try to focus on 2 things.
Well, an ex-Moroccan running for France, Larbi Zeroual, has now moved up and gone past Halassi, as Halassi stopped off at the feeding station and has taken on some nourishment. But he does have company now in Zeroual, who is a 2-hour, 10-minute, and 36-second marathoner. And these two have a fairly sizable gap between themselves and the pursuing pack.
Born in Morocco but running for France, it will be interesting to see how Ronnie Halassi copes with the fact that he's now been caught. Sometimes they run for a little while in pairs like this, excuse me. But other times they just drop back forcefully, and the pack are now making inroads undoubtedly into the leaders.
So it's Halassi and Zeroual leading the way, Ron, and the pursuing pack continues to stay about 16 seconds back.
Thanks, Alan Mann, here at Commonwealth Stadium as the Parade of Nations continues with Ukraine.
A much anticipated team with this crowd. As we mentioned earlier, a large Ukrainian population in Alberta and in Edmonton will be greeting these folks.
La Yugoslavie, Yugoslavia.
Next among the groups, the North American group, they will be represented by a large horse puppet. There are, how many athletes are here from North America?
Well, I know the United States has sent an 80-member men's team, and I'll just give you the 59 for the women. They're the top delegation, a total of 139 athletes.
I think it's North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. 32 nations represented. The Caribbean, of course, included in that group. Now, this is just North America. However, we will get back to South America. Oh, there they are. This is South America.
Beautiful Anguilla off the coast of St. Martin. Bahamas, shocking and extremely impressive gold medal 4x100 effort at Sydney in the women's sprint.
Barbados, La Barbade.
And of course, you should not expect to see Canada among the North American teams because they get to, as the host nation, enter the stadium last, which is a position of honor, of course, for the team.
Les îles Vierges Britanniques, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, les îles Caïmans. Le Costa Rica, Costa Rica. Cuba. La Dominique, Dominica.
Take you back to the marathon course, Don.
And we see competitor 1179, and Caleb Canucci of the United States is continuing to move along quite smoothly. He was concerned earlier in the year, Jeff, in the Boilermaker 15K race, where he had to pull out with an injury, but he appears to be running quite strongly, and continuing to lead the way is Ronnie Halassi, but he does have company now as Zeroual of France has moved up and is running with him. And in the pursuing pack, we have Ailme Ahu of Ethiopia and Lee Bong-ju of Korea. So those expected to be contenders are still very much in this marathon race.
Very much in the race. This pack, which is following the leaders now and getting a little closer to them, has a very, very high quality field. The Moroccans are well represented in this pack, as are the Ethiopians and the Italians.
5 Canadians in the field as well, and we mentioned them earlier at the start of the race. The most experienced, Bruce Deacon, and the other Canadians are Fraser Bertram, Steve Bohan, Christian Marmon, and Oliver Utting. But they do not appear to be in this pursuing group. At least we have been unable to detect their numbers as the cameras go through the racers in pursuit of the leading pair, Halassi of Trinidad and Zeroual of France. Number 672 from Kenya is Simon Biwott. This year, the winner of the Paris Marathon. He's a 31-year-old with a personal best of 2:07.41, a time he posted in 1999. But out in front is Halassi and Zeroual. Halassi was running a good portion of the race by himself until Zeroual from France, a former Moroccan, broke from the pack and moved up with him and is now running with him. Again, let's rejoin Ron and Helen.
Moving towards the half marathon too.
Team from Trinidad and Tobago going by now. Turks and Caicos next as we go through the nations of North and Central America as well as the Caribbean.
United States of America, les États-Unis d'Amérique.
That's a nice reception for Team USA. Gerald Miles Clark was chosen as the flag bearer for Team USA. Native of Gainesville, Florida. She's a 3-time Olympian, the 1996 and 2000 Olympic Games. She won gold medals as part of the 4x400 relay team and a silver in 1992 in her event, the 400. I missed that.
Yeah, me too. So much expected of
The
this team, of
nations
course.
of Oceania, les pays de l'Océanie.
Now we get the South Sea Islands, Australia, the nations of Oceania. They're represented by a dolphin, or actually a couple of dolphins, I believe, in this representation.
Les Samoa américaines, American Samoa.
Of course, the big show here will be Team Australia.
Here they come.
How big do you think a platypus is? How long do you think?
I have no idea.
You know they're only about 8 inches.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when we went there to Sydney. They were like
People-
squirrels over there.
Well, they're bringing mementos of Sydney with them, obviously, this time.
Cook Islands.
Joey, the boxing kangaroo says we got to go. Take a commercial break. We'll continue our coverage of the opening ceremony. We still have a number of production numbers to come. The raising of the IAAF flag and our continuing coverage. For the first time ever, the men's marathon will have its finale as part of the opening ceremony. That and much more at Edmonton 2001.
Les îles Marshall.
Can't get a seat on the next space shuttle? Want to teach your computer to talk? I like it. Unlock the secrets of the CBC for Kids website. Get interactive, play games, enter contests, try a quiz, or just chat with other kids.
That's unbelievable!
Discover weird news from the world of science. Or how about creating your own newscast? From money sense on banking to the cutest pet contest. Find out the answers to questions you have and sign on with cbcforkids.ca.
CBC Radio 2, the guest conductor's first choice.
She was only a farm girl. Who are you?
Nobody?
And believed that God chose her to unite France.
I presume to speak for God. Not for him, from him.
Nothing could stop her.
The army of God is at hand.
But the flames of her own passion.
You asked for eternal damnation!
An encore presentation. Joan of Arc. Saturday at 10 on CBC.
From Spider-Man to Spawn.
If I like it, I know there's a lot of guys that are just like me.
You will never escape me.
I think he should donate his brain to science.
The Life and Times of Todd McFarlane. Tuesday on CBC Television.
Recognizing the best in international television.
Norman Jewison.
The Banff Rocky Awards 2001.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hosted by Ian Hannamansing and Julie Snyder. August 10th on CBC Television.
You're looking at a giant condor puppet that's leading in the delegations from South America. We have 13 countries in South America entering the stadium now. The crowd really getting into this with the pictograms. They're holding up those placards as every team enters, and the pictures are just great. They're really participating in this event.
And unlike the Olympics, not every country here even has a flag bearer. The placards are, of course, provided by host volunteers, and some of the nations have named flag bearers for this opening ceremony. Don?
Well, Ronnie Halassi of Trinidad is no longer the leader. There are 25 runners in this front-running group. And Halassi, for the first hour of this race, had been the leader for a good portion of it by himself. But sometimes nature calls. And fortunately for Halassi, there are porta potties set up along the course. But he is now apparently out of contention in this men's marathon, Ron.
That's a hard act to follow, Don. Uruguay.
That's going to be embarrassing when people see that on the news in Trinidad.
Yeah. We always think when we're busy covering these events, it's nice to have something in the can, but...
Oh. And lots of excitement because we're getting ready for the entry of the team everybody's waiting for, Canada.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, et maintenant, mesdames et messieurs, the host country, le pays hôte, Canada, le Canada.
...70 athletes representing Team Canada, 38 men, 32 women. Glenroy Gilbert, Canada's brilliant sprinter, longtime anchor, both spiritually and physically, of the 4x100 relay teams, always ran the backstretch, native of Ottawa. He's such an ambassador for the sport. That's a really great honor for the Olympic gold medalist.
So exciting for all of these athletes to be participating in an event in North America, where we've mentioned track isn't perhaps as popular as it is elsewhere in the world, and this will maybe generate a lot more interest for their sport.
So, yeah. Alec Gardner, former head of Athletics Canada there, now with the High Performance Center in Winnipeg, just went through our shot.
We promised Mounties, we got them.
Les athlètes des 8e championnats du monde d'athlétisme de l'IAAF. The athletes of the 8th IAAF World Championships in Athletics. Please rise and join Tanner Purcell, Meredith McLeod, Eva Ladouceur, and the Edmonton 2001 choir for the singing of our national anthem. Veuillez vous lever et vous joindre à Tanner Purcell, Meredith McLeod, Eva Ladouceur et la chorale Edmonton 2001 pour chanter notre hymne national.
Proud Canadians in Edmonton 2001. We'll be back.
I've always believed that people who live in one part of Saskatchewan are always interested in what's happening in another part of the province, and that's what you get on our show. It's about Saskatchewan. It's Canada Now. Check us out.
Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Yes, you. Hi, I'm Colin Brewer, inviting you to the afternoon edition's karaoke parties. Every Friday through the summer, it's your chance to sing on the radio and win some great prizes. Check out our website for all the details.
Frank never knows when he'll wake up to find that his arms are too weak to do anything, even shave himself. MS lives here. Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable neurological disease that strikes young adults, many with children. The MS Society of Canada helps families learn to live with MS while we search for a cure. They count on us. Can we count on you?
The runner's getting a good look at the Edmonton skyline from this vantage point. I wonder if that represents the wall. Let's get back to the marathon. Don and Jeff.
A field of about 25, a front-running group. 103 marathoners started the race, and now this group has separated itself from the balance of the field. Early in the race, Ronnie Halassi was the leader. We saw him make a bathroom stop, and now he is sitting on the curb waiting to be picked up and transported back to the finish start line area. And this leading group of marathoners includes all of those who were expected to be contenders for the medal. Leading the way at the moment is Giacomo Leone of Italy. He's competitor number 598. 959 in behind him is Ian Seister of South Africa. Simon Biwott of Kenya is there. Lee Bong-ju of Korea is up there as they make their way down Grote Road. And this, we talked earlier, Jeff, about the difficulties of going uphill, the climb they will have after they leave the river valley. What about going downhill? This is quite a steep incline.
It can be sore on the quadricep muscles, those on the front of the thigh, especially in the latter stages of the race when they're getting tired. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for them now, but the real racing is now beginning. There's no question this is the tougher part of the course. The real racing is on. We'll have to watch the pack very carefully.
Once again, let's rejoin Ron and Helen.
Don and Jeff, thanks kindly. We're getting set for the second production number, the entry of the IAAF flag here at Commonwealth Stadium. And the second production number.
The theme of the event tonight, Quest, divided into 5 portions: Quest, Land, Aurora, Celestial, and Finale.
Original concept of the medicine wheel playing a strong role in this production number. The segment titled Land underscores the moment in the marathon where the run has progressed from that initial primal struggle to get the body in rhythm and focus to reaching cruise control, a point at which the running becomes effortless and automatic.
This Land segment is also supposed to showcase Edmonton as a world within a city. You mentioned the medicine wheel. According to Aboriginal belief, the medicine wheel is comprised of 4 colors. They represent 4 directions, 4 races, 4 animals: the eagle, the buffalo, the wolf, and the bear. There's also a turtle, which is a cross-cultural symbol representing the world. And 5 large puppets represent all of these animals in this number. This is Asani, an Aboriginal singing group, very popular around Edmonton. The hoop dance is usually considered a traditional war dance that's being performed here.
Dale Auger is handling the performance, the honor song composed by Douglas Bonays.
The blue fabric, the blue costumes representing the North Saskatchewan River, which of course flows through and around Edmonton. A major feature, of course, of the city is the river valley.
'87 river costumes. The skirt of these costumes are constructed with a fiberglass rod that enables the performer to create that flowing motion.
Someone here is also performing something called the chicken dance, but I don't think it's the one that people perform at weddings these days. This is a much more traditional dance. These folks, of course, are supposed to represent the settlers who founded Alberta and set up all of its agricultural community.
The music here is called Potinkan. It's composed by Cheryl Suepegaham of Asani.
Otinkan is Cree, meaning our children are our future. Earlier, when we saw the national anthem, we had the first three lines sung in Cree, in French, and in English. So an effort to incorporate the Aboriginal community so much into the ceremony tonight.
The Edmonton Symphony Orchestra also joining in with the River Cree and Asani there.
Asani often performs this song at community events around Edmonton, celebrations around town.
Weaho, the song of celebration.
A lot of stilt walkers participating in the event tonight, handling those puppets and individually as well. Apparently 250 hours of training in order to learn how to walk for these opening ceremonies on those enormous stilts.
The opening ceremony continues from Commonwealth Stadium, plus more of the marathon in a moment.
Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain, is almost anywhere you want to go. The world's largest hotel chain tucks you in around the globe. With over 4,000 hotels in over 80 countries, the world's largest hotel chain is Best Western, inviting you to get a good night's sleep. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Call 1-800-WESTERN or visit bestwestern.com.
The Royal Bank Financial Group Athletics Series and CBC Sports continuing with the opening ceremony and the marathon from Edmonton 2001. Here once again, Don and Jeff.
And Ron, from a large pack of 25 that made their way down Grote Road and past the Mayfair Golf and Country Club and into Howrah Park, and the fatigue factor has set in and has taken its toll on a number of competitors, including Khaled Kenouchi, the ex-Moroccan, now running under the colors of the United States. He was forced to drop out of the race. Tice of South Africa has also been forced out of the race. Julio Rey of Spain has continued to run but has been having some problems. But the man in front and leading the way, Abdelkader El Mouaziz of Morocco. He is running through Howrah Park. This is where the World Triathlon Championships were held a couple of weeks ago. The men's title won here by Peter Robertson of Australia. Leading the way in the marathon, Abdelkader El Mouaziz of Morocco. And at the moment, Jeff, the man who won the London Marathon on April the 22nd in a time of 2 hours, 7 minutes and change is looking very strong.
He's made a good break slightly earlier than we predicted. We thought he might, although the leader might try to break about here where the start is for the 1 kilometer climb. But he broke early on as they came down the hill and over the river. And he's running very strongly now, and he's being pursued by a group of about 6.
And now he has a big hill facing him. This will test these marathoners, Ron.
Thank you very much. The flamenco dancers from Seville, 1999, helping to introduce the IAAF flag.
La ville de Séville en Espagne a été l'hôte des 7e championnats du monde d'athlétisme de l'IAAF. Et maintenant, le drapeau de l'IAAF fait son entrée dans le stade. Recently, the IAAF launched their new visual identity, the Celebrating Athlete. Symbolizing the core values of athletic achievement tonight, we're pleased to mark the debut unveiling of this new flag. Accepting the IAA flag is an exclusive team of young Alberta athletes. Et pour accepter le drapeau, voici une équipe unique de nos athlètes albertains. Sauteuse en hauteur, high jumper, Jesse Lipscomb. Coureur du 800 mètres, 800-meter runner, Nolan Fife. Sauteur à la perche, pole vaulter, Terry Millett. Coureuse du 800 mètres, 800-meter runner, Tanya Wright. Sauteur en longueur, long jumper, Tommy Idowu. Athlète, middle distance runner, Deanna Sullivan. Coureur de fond, distance runner, Ian Manyfingers. Decathlete, décathlonien, Tyler Foote. Assembled this evening as our IAAF Flag Honor Guard is an exceptional group of the greatest gold medal winners in the history of track and field. Rassemblés ce soir en tant que garde d'honneur du drapeau de l'IAAF. Un groupe des plus grands médaillés d'or de l'histoire de l'athlétisme.
The athletes they're about to introduce are here for the Legends of Gold.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist, le double médaillé d'or olympique, Harrison Dillard.
A dinner celebrating their accomplishments on Monday. Of course, also the presence here tonight, very special.
Le double médaillé d'or olympique, two-time Olympic gold, Perry O'Brien. Four-time Olympic gold medalist, le gagnant de 4 médailles d'or olympiques, Al Orter. Le médaillé d'or olympique et des Jeux du Commonwealth, Commonwealth and Olympic gold medalist, Herb Elliott. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, le double médaillé d'or olympique, Peter Snell. Le médaillé d'or olympique, Olympic gold medalist, Ralph Boston. Olympic and two-time Commonwealth gold medalist. Le médaillé d'or olympique et double médaillé d'or des Jeux du Commonwealth, Kip Keino.
That's obviously not Kip Keino.
Olympic gold medalist, le médaillé d'or olympique, Dick Fosbury.
Famous for the Fosbury flop.
Olympic and three-time Commonwealth gold medalist, le médaillé d'or olympique et gagnant de 3 médailles d'or aux Jeux du Commonwealth, Donald Quarry. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, le double médaillé d'or olympique, Valérie Borsov. Le double médaillé d'or olympique, two-time Olympic gold medalist, Alberto Wantorena. Commonwealth Games gold medalist, la médaillée d'or aux Jeux du Commonwealth, la Canadienne Diane Jones-Kanahosty. Le double médaillé d'or olympique, two-time Olympic gold medalist, Sebastian Coe. World Championship gold medalist, le gagnant d'une médaille d'or au championnat du monde, Eamon Coughlin. Le médaillé d'or olympique et 6 fois champion du monde, Olympic gold and 6-time world
Apologies
champion.
for the lack of visuals of those last Legends of Gold athletes. Evidently there was a problem at host because we were trying to explore what happened there ourselves.
Michael Smith.
I was looking forward to seeing Sebastian Coe, having heard him on the radio this morning.
Yeah. Michael Smith, I see Mark McCoy just coming by.
Sergei Bubka, who was in here earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's Mark McCoy, the Olympic gold medalist at Barcelona, twice fourth in the 110-meter hurdles in World Championships.
Agrias.
Welcome, Your Royal Highnesses, Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, President of the IAAF, Lamine Diack, and honored guests. Welcome to everyone sharing this memorable and special evening. Those within this stadium, those along the marathon route, those from the millions of homes throughout the world. Welcome to Canada, Alberta, Edmonton. We are so proud to be the first ever championships to be hosted in North America. In the 2001 story, these opening ceremonies are the ending of one fabulous journey and the beginning of another. The journey that just ended has covered many miles and many years as we pursued a dream to host this great event. And now we can enjoy together the prize of those endeavors. Let me assure you that we will do all we can to host the best championships ever. And tonight, Edmonton, you have the privilege of hosting the world. Tonight is an evening to savor. It is an evening to see our world at its best. A diverse community gathered in a common purpose. And in particular, we are so grateful that we have the beginning of another journey with these events. The journey of the athletes and the spectators, a journey of friendship, competition, and excellence. As I speak, the men running through the streets on the marathon are pursuing their dream. I wish them all, and all the other athletes during the coming days, an outstanding competition. It is fitting that our royal guests are here, as it was the Earl of Wessex's grandfather and great-uncle, King George VI and King Edward VIII, who as little children in 1908 during the London Olympic Games influenced the change in the route in order that they could see the marathon from Windsor Castle. And it was for that reason that we have the new distance of the modern marathon that you're experiencing tonight. Welcome, Your Highnesses. We are gathered in a common purpose, celebrating the very best in human potential. It is a proud evening to be a Canadian. Over the next 10 days, we'll witness the strength of the human spirit. May these championships lift us all and unite us all in hope and optimism for our world. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Jack Agrio is the local organizing committee chairman for this event.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir le président de l'Association internationale des fédérations d'athlétisme, the president of the International Association of Athletics Federations, Mr. Lamine Diack.
Altesse royale, Monsieur le Premier ministre, Monsieur et Madame les dignitaires, Monsieur le Président du Comité international olympique, Monsieur le Président du Comité d'organisation, chers citoyens et citoyennes d'Edmonton.
Please deliver my first official speech as the newly elected IAAF president on the occasion of the opening ceremony of the 8th World Championships in athletics.
Je suis honoré et comblé de prononcer mon premier discours
officiel. The Federation is proud to celebrate its 89 years of existence with its new denomination and logo. Welcomes you to one of the greatest championships in the Commonwealth Stadium, refurbished and equipped with the most sophisticated broadcasting and communication tools. For 1,000 years, Edmonton will be printing in golden letters in the world's who's who of unique act, a challenge which will be hardly taken up.
Avec un nouveau nom et un nouveau logo, vous souhaite la bienvenue en ce stade du Commonwealth, rénové et doté des moyens les
plus sophistiqués. Should we compare the championships to a painting, then the colors would be highly symbolical, unforgettable and eternal.
S'il fallait trouver un équivalent plastique à ces championnats, les teintes en seraient fortement symboliques, mémorables et éternelles.
The staging of the first World Championship in athletics of the third millennium here in Canadian land of Alberta, in Edmonton, the city of champions, will be stored forever in our memories.
Edmonton grave en or et en pourpre dans les éphémérides de l'humanité une sorte d'acte unique qui n'est pas près d'être relevé. La légende et l'histoire retiendront que c'est ici, en terre canadienne d'Alberta, à Edmonton, la ville des champions, que c'est ici que les premiers championnats du monde d'athlétisme du 3e millénaire furent organisés.
First time the championships
Mais
in
aussi la
athletics are being
première
held
fois
in
que les
American
championnats
land.
du monde d'athlétisme se tiennent en terre américaine, terre de grands espaces, de grandes randonnées, de grandes performances et de grands cœurs.
A land of great spaces, long drives, great performances, and generous hearts.
Terre
A
canadienne,
Canadian land, wild open, lively and vibrating, hosting, as done in the past, thousands of guests coming from all around the world.
Venus de toutes les parts pour savourer ces événements exceptionnels.
Today it offers billions of viewers throughout the world the most beautiful images of the parade of the world's top athletes. Strong gentlemen and splendid ladies bearing proudly the flags of their countries.
Elle offre aujourd'hui à des milliards de téléspectateurs à travers le monde les images d'une rare beauté de ce défilé de gentilshommes gaillards et de ravissantes grandes dames. Les frelons du monde, aux coups altiers et à la ligne fière, arborant les étendards et les drapeaux de leurs nations respectives. En réalité, devant nous se déroule la séquence des gloires. Ces stars qui prêtent de plus en plus leurs images à l'éclat des cérémonies et des événements dans lesquels leurs moindres pulsions valent leur pesant d'or réel et sentimental. Tant mieux pour l'image de marque de l'athlétisme. Et l'on se croirait dans une croisière artistique.
Tonight we are in fact assisting the parade of glories. These stars are more and more lending their image to enhance the ceremonies and events in which their slightest pulses are worth their weight in pure and virtual gold. How rewarding for the image of athletics. One could easily imagine going on an artistic cruise showing the superbly diverse facets of the Canadian culture through songs and dances, and resounding with mythical sonorities to the image of what athletics, the king of sport, extracted. What we are experiencing is merely splendid, and I consider it as a good sign for my new mission, in my vision consisting in pushing back the inaccessible boundaries and making room for progress and achievements.
Dès le franchissement de la ligne d'arrivée, de la barre de saut,
Assuredly, such vision is shared by our athletes who resolve to better their records as soon as they pass the finish line. Clear jumping bars, put shots as far as possible. With the excitement, loyalty, and genuineness, credibility, and global aspiration naturally present in the global athlete.
De ce foyer de toutes les qualités,
from this focus of global qualities springs the fertilizing source where the thirsty humanity is invited to drink and get impregnated with the values so much needed for their global blossoming. The athletic movement thus contributes to the effort of all men from every continent to raise the plateau of glories, thus giving feedback. Another marathon is standing out. May it be as accomplished as the very one which has been so harmoniously integrated into the opening ceremony. Once again, Premier.
Tout est en définitive premier ici à Edmonton. Et la récompense des
Finally, everything
c'est la médaille d'or.
Is first here in Edmonton, and the reward of the first is the gold medal. Wear it proudly.
Honorable Premier Ministre, autorité fédérale, provinciale, municipale, fédération d'athlétisme.
It's very well deserved, Edmonton. Your Royal Highness, Right Honorable Jean Chrétien, Prime Minister, federal, provincial, and municipal authorities, athletics federations, leaders, officials, athletes, Canadians as a whole, and not last, the local organizing committee. God bless your country.
Je dirige avec compétence et efficacité notre ami Jacques Agrias. Que Dieu guide votre pays vers des sentiers lumineux et clairs. Que tous ceux qui, dans la conjonction trébutante et intense de leurs actes,
Mr. Agrios, congratulations. May all those who contributed to the success of the event by intensely joining their efforts be thanked.
Qui, dans les aéroports, les gares, sur les routes, au stade,
Above all, the
dans les lieux
volunteers
d'hébergement,
who in the airports, the railway stations, and on roads, in the stadium, in the accommodation centers, made things so easy.
et au-delà de celle-ci.
May they be glorified in the international year dedicated to them and well beyond into the future.
Si j'avais suffisamment de talent, j'aurais composé une œuvre
Should I be
artistique,
somewhat talented, I would have composed a global artistic work consisting of tunes, choirs, recitals, in a vivifying setting of shades and colors.
de nuances et de couleurs.
But it isn't the partition already played. Please accept my congratulations.
Que l'athlétisme éclaire
May athletics
de mille
light
feux les coins et
propagate
recoins
into
du
every
monde
single
entier.
part of the world.
J'invite l'honorable Jean Chrétien,
I invite the Honorable Jean Chrétien, Prime Minister of Canada, to declare officially open the 8th World Championships in Athletics in Edmonton.
de la Fédération, de l'Association des fédérations internationales d'athlétisme. Je vous remercie.
I declare the championship officially open. Je proclame l'ouverture des championnats.
This is the IAAF hymn being played. The Canadian Forces snowbirds flying over the stadium in formation.
The World Championships from Edmonton on the air. And we'll continue.
Dreams. We carry them with us all the time. Some we've had for as long as we can remember. Others are very new. Dreams can comfort us, move us, and inspire us to build a better life. But how does a dream get off the ground. Royal Bank Financial Group, banking, investments, insurance. Make the most of your dreams.
In today's high-tech world, to build an enterprise, you must break it down into smaller work groups. And to make work groups efficient, one company has developed networkable office products that help each individual be more productive. Electronic products for home and office that are programmable, team building, and inspirational. To improve your productivity, come talk to the people who develop work group solutions. Come visit us at brother.ca.
Enter the monolith. Come to the Saskatoon International Fringe Festival, August 3rd to the 12th. The 2001 Fringe Odyssey, a Mobius trip at the intersection of here, there, and everywhere.
Recognizing the best in international television.
Norman Jewison.
The Banff Rocky Awards 2001.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hosted by Ian Hannamansing and Julie Snyder. August 10th on CBC Television.
The 2001 First Nations Awards presented by the Women of the Dawn honor the lifetime achievements and contributions of First Nations individuals in Saskatchewan. From now until September 1st, you can nominate a unique First Nations person in any of the award categories. The awards will be presented on October 20th in Regina. For more information or nomination form, call 791-6503 or 522-6040 in Regina.
Back at Edmonton, and once again our marathon coverage continues with Don Whitman and Jeff Gowan.
Well, Ron, coming out of Howrah Park and up the incline, the leader was Abdelkader Al-Muaziz of Morocco, and he had a fairly sizable lead, but then Simon Biwott, number 672 of Kenya, reeled him in. Stefano Baldini, 581 from Italy. Gezahengi Abera of Ethiopia, Tesfaye Tola of Ethiopia, and Shigeru Abareya of Japan all caught up with him. And now it appears they are dropping Al-Muaziz as Simon Biwott of Kenya has taken the lead. There has been some jockeying of position at this stage of the race, and the two Ethiopian runners have been doing some talking and discussing things. One of the favorites, Lee Bong-ju of Korea, the Boston Marathon winner, was forced to drop out, so a number of the notable marathoners have been forced out of this race.
Yes, it's been tough, particularly this final third. As we said, it was the hardest part of the course. The two Ethiopians certainly were chatting, one of them, of course, being the Olympic finalist, the Olympic gold medalist. But now they're back in a group of four. They appear to be dropping the Japanese runner, but it's very difficult to predict how these men are feeling. We have two Ethiopians who can, of course, combine together to try to force the pace, but Biwott of Kenya is pushing the lead, followed by Italy, Ethiopia, and Japan.
Simon Biwott, the Paris champion this year, 9th in the 1999 World Championships, leading Stefano Baldini as they prepare to move past the University of Alberta, Ron.
Don, thanks a lot. Obviously, we'll try and juggle as best we can now with the exciting moments of the marathon and this next production number, which is known as Aurora, or Aurora Borealis, of course, the famed Northern Lights. This is actually in conjunction with the marathon, the point at which the runner is asking for more. It's no longer easy. This is the point you're tempted to turn back, and being human, where enjoyment is what you love and pleasure is what you seek, you have to recognize that life is also pain.
Northern Lights, an ongoing theme of this celebration. Every night during the event, not Horlock Park, but Kinsman Park is going to have a light display from 11 to 11:10, and it's called Northern Lights. It should be pretty spectacular and should be viewed from all over the river valley.
Original music composed by René Dupré. The Edmonton Symphony Orchestra and the Edmonton 2001 Choir will join in here momentarily. Lyrics by Diane Cadieux, the French, and Tino Izzo. René Dupré, who composed the music we're about to hear, renowned for her work with Cirque du Soleil.
Martine Menville from Quebec, from Montreal, and Christian Mena from Edmonton.
Dawn. Ron, the Olympic champion, is the man who has taken the lead, number 332, Gezahengi Abera of Ethiopia, 16th this year in the Boston Marathon, the Olympic champion in Sydney just moments ago, going past Simon Biwott of Kenya, who was the winner in Paris earlier this year. And they are now back in the downtown area and about 10 or 11 minutes away from re-entering Commonwealth Stadium. Large crowds all along the route, and the capacity crowd here at Commonwealth Stadium preparing to welcome back these marathon runners who left here at 6:45 local time. 3:32, Gezahengi Abera of Ethiopia leading the way.
And it has been a great race through this final third of this marathon. 5 of them battling it out. Eventually the Japanese runner dropped back, and we were left with 2 Ethiopians, a Kenyan and an Italian. The Olympic champion, seen there just shaking the tension out of his arms, always looked threatening. The 2 Ethiopians chatted for short times, possibly discussing tactics, but then first of all Biwott broke away and had a slight lead of 5 meters or so, and then 3:32, the Olympic gold medalist in Sydney, forged to the front and now leads this pack of 4.
Gezahengi Abera opening up his advantage over Simon Biwott of Kenya, and the Olympic bronze medalist Tesfaye Tola of Ethiopia is running in 3rd place. Stefano Baldini of Italy hung in there with the front runners for a good portion of the race, but it appears they are now dropping him.
Very interesting. If you remember, Don, in Sydney it was Ethiopia, Kenya, Ethiopia. The Ethiopians made a Kenyan sandwich of it and had the gold and the bronze with the Kenyan second. It looks as if it's going to be a very similar sort of result in the World Championships, the 8th World Championships.
Despite the Kenyan success in world distance running, they've only won 1 world marathon title. Douglas Wakahuri won it all in 1987. And now it appears as though Simon Biwott is coming back at Gezahengi Abera. So just when it appeared as though Simon Biwott of Kenya might have been finished, he finds something and begins to dig in and now goes past Abera.
The great challenge here is, did he make this effort too soon? Should he have waited behind Abera, just kept the pressure on him and kicked if he felt he had the kick, because they've still got, relatively speaking, a long way to go. And when they get in the stadium, all is not over. So maybe this was a move too premature. We'll have to wait and see. But I've always thought that Abera looked to be the sprightlier of the 2, but this may be deceptive because of Biwott's long strides. But it's going to be a battle royal, and it would be fascinating to see 4 or 5 men in the stadium together.
When they return to the stadium, 3/4 of a lap to the finish line to determine the 2001 World Marathon champion. And now Stefano Baldini of Italy has moved past Tolo of Ethiopia into 3rd place. Very soon they will be passing Edmonton City Hall and then turning into the Chinese district of Edmonton and making their way over the final few strides, the final few blocks towards Commonwealth Stadium, where they will come down the same ramp they left Commonwealth Stadium and return to the finish line. But it appears as though the gold medal will go to one of these 2 men, Simon Biwott of Kenya, who is leading the way, and the Olympic champion, Gezahengi Abera of Ethiopia. Jeff, at this point in the race, you often talk about the problems that runners experience, running into the wall, this sort of thing. Might that happen here?
It might do, but I've noticed all along they've been very regular at their feeding stations. They've drunk fluid, usually water, and they've also poured it over themselves as a coolant. Conditions are good for getting rid of heat by sweating and evaporating tonight, but they've religiously taken in their water, and this is very wise indeed. Sometimes the pack is temporary. There's Biwott taking in some supplies, very wise indeed. It may result in a partial breakup of this leading 4, as it has done in the past, but they reassemble, and there's the Ethiopian taking in his water, and they join together again in this mighty battle as to who can be the 8th World champion marathon runner.
And as you have mentioned in the past when we have discussed these feeding stations, many of these athletes put together their own solutions. It's not just water that they are taking in.
Very critical. They just passed the 40-kilometer mark, so that means they've got 2 kilometers and a little bit left. Yes, it's very important that they try to get their own mixture and in the right sort of volume. Some people like it in smaller volumes, taken more frequently. Others slightly higher, taken less frequently. But it's very critical because the stomach can be badly upset when they're working as hard as they are, and they need to have something that they know through training has proved to be effective and that they can keep down. They're working hard up a slight hill. The Olympic champion glances back there. Maybe that is a sign. He's not sure whether he can catch Biwott. It's going to be fascinating, though. It's been a very, very high-quality marathon, as we said at the outset, with people of such great talent. And to have 5 people probably on the track together is outstanding.
Helen mentioned earlier about the large number of Chinese immigrants who settled in this area, and the runners are now passing through the Chinese area of Edmonton. And it is Simon Biwott of Kenya who is leading Olympic champion Gezahegn Abera of Ethiopia. For a brief spell, Biwott had relinquished the lead to the Olympic champion, but as they neared City Hall, he decided to make a move and regain the lead.
Remember, we suggested at the outset that Rob D. Castella's time of 2 hours 10 minutes .03 set in Helsinki in 1983 may not be broken. Nobody has broken it in the previous 7 competitions, and it looks as if it's going to stay intact because it's 2 hours 7 minutes 47 seconds so far, and they're not inside of the stadium yet. But they are going through Chinatown.
Stefano Baldini of Italy is running in 3rd place ahead of the Olympic bronze medalist Tesfaye Tola of Ethiopia. But these 2 men, the leader Biwott of Kenya and Abera of Ethiopia, running stride for stride with only about a meter separating them.
I can't help but think that Abera is waiting. He's biding his time, perhaps until they get on the track to try to kick away decisively. But who knows how much Biwott has left. He certainly had the courage to go and take the lead, to try to take away Abera's sting. But we will see, I think, when they get onto the track.
42.195 kilometers from start to finish. 3/4 of a lap of the track inside Commonwealth Stadium. And will it be a sprint to the finish line between these 2? The leader, Simon Biwott of Kenya, 9th in 1999, and the Olympic champion, Gezahegn Abera of Ethiopia.
They're getting feedback from their running action. They're checking out a quick glance back by Biwott to see where Abera is. They know how they feel. Can they sustain this for a little longer? Can we get away with the aching and pain in those thighs? Do we have a sprint finish left if it's necessary? All of these thoughts crossing their minds as they work through these final meters of what has been a very, very fine race.
They will soon be making a right-hand turn heading towards Commonwealth Stadium. And now I think it's quite safe to say that these 2 men are going to battle for the gold medal. The other challengers have all been dropped, and it will be a battle between Baldini and Tola for the bronze medal. There you see the old Clark Stadium, the former home of the Edmonton Eskimos prior to the construction of Commonwealth Stadium in 1978. The old Clark Stadium is now the warm-up track, the training area for these World Championship athletes. And Commonwealth Stadium is the site of the competition.
And as we saw yesterday when we checked out the course, Don, you don't see the stadium until very late in the race. So they don't have a goal where they see that stadium looming ahead of them and they can push for home. They see it very late indeed, and they're poised now for a battle on the 400-meter running track, I do believe.
Stride for stride, Biwott and Abera. It's not often you see a marathon decided inside the stadium, and they now see the stadium, and they will be moving down the ramp very shortly, re-entering Commonwealth Stadium, and then 3/4 of a lap to the finish line.
I think the tactics for Abera now, Don, are to stay exactly where he is. If he feels confident, if he feels strong, he's far better to wait as long as he can and then go past Biwott in a very decisive manner and hang on to the finish. However, We don't know what Biwott will do in response to this, if that is what happens.
Well, the organizers of the World Championships in Edmonton have to be delighted with the first event on the program, because it is going to be decided inside the stadium in a sprint to the finish line after 42.195 kilometers through the streets of Edmonton, and they come down the ramp now ready to re-enter Commonwealth Stadium, and you'll hear a tremendous roar as they come back onto the Commonwealth Stadium track.
Wait for it, this crowd in anticipation. They know the leaders are very close indeed. Neck and neck, stride for stride. Fatigued, but determined as a result of very hard training.
Listen to the crowd.
This crowd are rising to these men.
Two men in the spotlight. Simon Biwott of Kenya trying to hold off the challenge of the Olympic champion Gezahegni Abera of Ethiopia. Abera's trying to take him in the turn. Biwott reluctant to relinquish the lead, but Abera's got him. 150 meters remaining, and Abera, the Olympic champion, can taste a World Championship gold medal. Is that a smile on his face as he runs the final 100?
Biwott's trying to come back, Don. He can't do it. I don't think he has the space, but he's trying very hard. What a magnificent finish.
Abera to the finish line ahead of Simon Biwott. The Olympic champion is now world champion.
World champion, followed by Olympic champion, Gezahegni Abera, Ethiopia.
And just now, the third place and fourth place runners are making their way to the finish line. It will be Stefano Baldini of Italy in third place, and it will be Tesfaye Tola of Ethiopia in fourth place. Tola was the bronze medalist at the Olympic Games in Sydney, relegated to a fourth place finish behind Baldini of Italy.
Very, very fine running by this young Italian. Good bronze medal as the very tired gold and silver medalists wander round the track and now break into a jog. Very fine race, 2:12:42.
A very exciting and dramatic conclusion to this men's marathon inside Commonwealth Stadium as Abera of Ethiopia outsprinted Biwott of Kenya to the finish line. Shigeru Abera of Japan into the stadium. Tola is there for a fourth place finish. Abera of Japan, the fifth place finisher. Congratulations from the fourth place finisher, Tola of Ethiopia, to the world and Olympic champion, Gezahegni Abera of Ethiopia. And still no sign of the sixth place runner. At one point, Abdelkader El Mouaziz of Morocco was running in sixth place. The champion takes a victory lap as El Mouaziz now enters the stadium. Past the midpoint of the race, he was the leader and appeared to have quite a comfortable lead until the pursuing group moved in on him.
Yes, his break wasn't quite decisive enough, but bravely he has finished this. He ran very well indeed, very bravely. They're the silver medalist in an outstanding marathon race.
A great finish with Abera outsprinting Simon Biwott to the finish line to claim the World Championship. More after this.
Can't get a seat on the next space shuttle? Want to teach your computer to talk? I like it. Unlock the secrets of the CBC for Kids website. Get interactive, play games, enter contests, try a quiz, or just chat with other kids.
That's unbelievable!
Discover weird news from the world of science. Or how about creating your own newscast? From money sense on banking to the cutest pet contest. Find out the answers to questions you have and sign on with cbcforkids.ca.
She hates flying.
Oh my God!
She doesn't like France.
Rude and interesting are not the same thing.
So, what is she doing in Paris?
I'm gonna get him back and I'm gonna make him love me.
Do you have a plan?
Oh, my money, my
starring Meg Ryan and Kevin Kline.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Wish you were here.
French Kiss, Sunday at 8 on CBC. Royal Bank Financial Group Athletic Series World Championships on CBC. Brought to you by Royal Bank Financial Group. Make the most of your dreams.
Gezahengi Abera gilded his Olympic gold medal resume as he has added the World Championship gold medal to his list of credits, out-sprinting Simon Biwott of Kenya to the finish line. Once they re-entered Commonwealth Stadium, he regained the lead with about 150 to 175 meters remaining, and it is the Olympic champion Abera finishing first, Biwott of Kenya the silver medalist, Stefano Baldini of Italy the bronze. Ron?
Don, thanks kindly. What a finish for the 23-year-old Ethiopian. He was 11th in Seville. Of course, that gold medal was one of 4 on the track at Sydney. Ethiopia was just in behind the United States in terms of gold medals, 1 in Australia. Your impressions of the night, Helen?
Very exciting and so thrilling to be here. I know you attend these kind of things all the time. I don't. So to be here and have the roar of the crowd when Abera came in and slapped that other fellow, or not lapped, but passed him, it was so exciting.
Well, and you know, the neat thing of that is it's not only the gold medalist who gets a huge ovation at marathons. For now, the next 2 hours, these fans will be waiting on somebody who gutted it out, maybe a 98-year-old from Greece who finishes in 7 hours, and they'll be there and get the maybe the applause of the games.
And when the first Canadian comes into the stadium as well, I can expect we'll hear a huge roar.
How about your thoughts? I mean, we're not choreographers and art critics, or maybe you are.
No, I'm not.
Sure.
Believe it or not, I have a fine arts master's degree, but that doesn't help.
Well, tell us, we only got 3 numbers. Now, the organizers have their hands full because obviously they had to pace it in terms of what happened with the marathon. I assume for Alberta they have 2 production numbers yet to go, and for viewers in Alberta, we will come immediately back with extended coverage.
Yes, we're going to sign off in the rest of Canada, but for everybody else in Alberta, stay tuned. I thought it actually came together very well. We saw the rehearsal last night. There were a few rough spots, but it was very smooth, I thought. At times it was a little bit draggy, but the performers were so excited, and so nice to see those volunteers do so well.
Absolutely. They made it a mandate early on. People of Edmonton said, we are the city of volunteers, city of festivals, and did a great job of being a part of that. As I say, for those of you here, you may have a son or a daughter or a friend, a family involved in production numbers 4 and 5. You'll get that in the province of Alberta. For the country coming up next, it's the national news. We'll go back to Toronto. A reminder, we're on the air with day 2 and lots of competition beginning at 4 ET, 2 Mountain tomorrow. Lawrence Kimber of CBC, one of the most popular, talented producers all time at the company, his last day, and we want to send off tonight by saying good luck, Lawrence, on your trail.
Good night.
CBC Sports, Canada's Olympic Network. In the city of love, her love has gone astray.
I'm gonna get him back.
I stay, I help you. Meg Ryan and Kevin Kline, French Kiss, Sunday at 8 on CBC.
Welcome back, our friends in Alberta, as we continue our coverage of the opening ceremony, the IAAF 8th World Championships here in Edmonton. Helen Mann and Ron McLean, and let's get right to Celestial, which is the 4th of 5 production numbers scheduled for the evening, and this is just before the grand finale, and we've already, of course, experienced that with our marathon coverage and the dramatic conclusion. We'll carry on now with Celestial.
Celestial is a tribute to modern cultures and the boundless, unbridled energy of youth. Again, tying in with our marathon portion of the opening ceremony, Rise Up,
a song made popular by the Parachute Club in 1983 will be the background for all of this. But in the spirit of the marathon, this is the stage in the race they call the third wind. The second wind had to do with that psychological impact on a runner, feeling that they now had their heart and blood vessels open, their core temperature at hand. In the third wind, it's all mental. Spirit, joy, peace, faith, hope, unity, uncertainty, all the qualities that go on in a race representing the mind game.
In case anybody's wondering, those are kanga jumpers that those folks are wearing and allow them to jump a little higher than usual, I suppose. We're going to see a lot of sort of street dance, hip-funk, hip-hop stuff from these young people.
"33 skippers from the Alberta Skipping Association."
I didn't know there was an Alberta Skipping Association.
When I was in high school, we tried to form one. No, I'm just kidding, children.
Well, those kanga jumpers, kanga jumps, actually have a purpose. They're supposed to reduce impact when people are doing aerobic workouts. I didn't know that.
Try telling him.
I love the hat. You look good in that.
No, that's grape. Grapes. You look good in that. And just about everything else I've seen tonight.
Rise up, rise up.
We're safe, Helen. Don't worry.
I think I jumped about a foot.
Rise Up by the Parachute Club, the remix by Dr. Octavo, and the compositions that helped that were compliments of Thomas Raymond. So that's Celestial. Only the finale to come. And the marathon, of course, happening here just moments ago at Commonwealth Stadium. A tremendous finish by the Olympic gold medalist from Sydney, Gezahegni Abera, in a time of 2:12:42, giving Ethiopia the first gold medal of Edmonton 2001. Simon Biwott of Kenya in second in a 2:12:43, and Stefano Baldi of Italy, 2:13:18. In terms of Team Canada, 5 competitors all made it to the finish line. Congratulations to the Canadians. Here's Steve Bohan of Toronto, now at the University of West Virginia. First Canadian across. This is his first World Championship, first really big major international competition, and you can see he was grateful for a wonderful run. 2:29:22, 42nd for Bohan. Bruce Deacon now running for Victoria, 2:30:22, and here's the difference of an experienced marathoner. Just a minute shy of Bohan, but extremely disappointed was Bruce. Olivier Outing of Calgary was the 3rd Canadian to cross, 65th position in a time of 2:39:53. Did I mention Deacon was 46th? 65th for Outing of Calgary. Then in 72nd position, Christian Marmon of Metapedia of Quebec, and 73rd for Fraser Bertram of Lennoxville, Quebec. 2:44:44 the time for Marmon, 2:45:10 for Bertram. Let's go down to Mark Lee now with Steve Bohan.
Here's Steve Bohan, the first Canadian into the stadium here and the first to finish in the marathon. Can you put into words the feeling as you came into Commonwealth Stadium to a standing ovation?
No, I can't. How can you express love in a word? How can you express joy? I felt power that I could take on the world. That's all I could feel.
What was going through your mind as you went around? I mean, you burst into a brilliant kick and then collapsed at the finish line.
I mean, I think that's all I could ask for. I got to a kick someone in front of my hometown. It was, I mean, it's my home crowd, maybe not my town, but it was absolutely unbelievable. I know I had the fastest leg speed out of any marathon here. I knew I could kill him, so I just went for him.
Good for you. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
What a wonderful scene for Canada and for Steve. A nice way to kickstart the games for the Canadian entry on the track. There's the bronze medal being presented by Laline Diac, the new president of the IAAF. And Countess presenting the flowers to Stefano Baldi of Italy for his bronze medal performance in the men's marathon. Silver medal goes to Simon Biwott of Kenya. Always a tremendous running program the Kenyans provide. One disappointment here will come in the men's 1,500 meters. As Prince Edward presents his flowers. Unfortunately, no Anieni of Kenya was not named to this team. The Kenyans are so deep. They're much like the Russians used to be in hockey and international tournaments. You never knew if they'd send their best. Gold medal, Gezahegni Abera of Ethiopia. 2:12:42 will be the winning time of the men's marathon.
And we're going to head back to the ceremonies now, the opening ceremonies. This is called the Running Man Finale. Of course, once again, it celebrates the marathon, which also ran tonight. Segment is unity and fulfillment.
We got to move 'cause we've got the fire. This is our story, this is our journey. Come on along 'cause we've got to move. Laissez chemin avec nous interterres. Il faut partir, on ne peut rester. C'est l'aventure qui nous invite. C'est le moment de s'embarquer.
rise. If I don't stop, then I know I'll survive. All the way live to be the best we strive. So put 'em up, cause you know you wanna move. This is the scene, it's the sounds of the youth. 2K to the 2K and 1. Edmonton, city of champions.
What could be the next big wave? Vive le sommet, vive le sommet. To the beat, to the desert club. Bright lights, will my turn come to shine. Vive le sommet, vive le sommet. Marchez pour vers l'avenir. Every heartbeat bringing me closer, moving the goals I've been dreaming about. Et pas à pas, j'invente la route. Il mène si loin, plus haut sommet. There is no limit for dreams, no ceiling over our heads. It feels like anything can be reached. J'ai le goût d'espérer, le courage d'essayer. On croit demain, on trouve le chemin. We've got the beat, we have the fire, we are the future, we wanna move. We've got the beat, we have the fire, we are the heart and we wanna move. Nous vivons tous en rythme du feu qui coule dans nos veines et qui brûle dans nos cœurs. Nous vivons tous en rythme du feu qu'on voit briller tout au fond de nos yeux. We've got the beat, we have the fire, we have the heart and we wanna move. Vive le sommet, l'avenir est au bout de mes doigts. Bright lights, let's start. Vive le sommet, on se viendra quand c'est le jour.
The entire cast of tonight's opening ceremonies on the field now. Hundreds and hundreds of volunteers who put in so many hours to bring this entertainment to people of Edmonton and to people of the country and around the world.
We've got the beat, we have the fire, we are the future, we wanna move. We've got the beat, we have the fire, we are the future, we wanna move.
Compliments to the wonderful singers Richard Chu, Meredith McLeod, Christine Dudzic, Tony Caruso, Natalie Clark, Ben Hart, Samantha King. Zenith, Viva Sommet, music and lyrics by Jan Rundle.
I think everyone's obviously pretty proud, excuse me, pretty proud of these opening ceremonies. All the hours they've put in, really worthwhile.
And thank you for your participation. We look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, that's a wonderful show. How about Helen, from a CBC Alberta point of view, it's tough to work in and around the coverage because the sports is pretty much tied up. as much as we can.
You have a lot of time, but I will tell all our viewers in Alberta that every night next week, Canada Now will come from City Hall here in Edmonton. We'll be doing an Alberta-wide show, 6:30 every night but Monday at 6 o'clock, and that's followed every night at 7 by Around the World. So we'll bring people cultural features, arts, fun stories from visitors to town and athletes as well.
The Heritage Festival, I believe, is on this weekend, is it not?
It is at Horlock Park.
So that's, and you know, we mentioned they have 20 festivals throughout the year in Edmonton. I bet you were surprised, as one who has your degree in arts, with the cultural fabric of this city. It has to be a leader in North America.
It is. The theater here is of exceptional quality. We have the Fringe coming up starting in about a week and a half. We have the Folk Festival. It's just a wonderful city for arts and culture, and I think people here really appreciate it.
Great atmosphere in which to see the athletes do their thing for the next 10 days. Helen, it was a real treat.
Mine too. Thank you. I enjoyed working with you.
Helen Mann and I bidding you adieu for now. We will definitely be back with lots more tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 2 o'clock.